offering a curated selection that caters to sneaker enthusiasts and fashion-forward individuals alike. Whether you're hunting for the newest drops, rare finds, or stylish apparel, Harlem's Closet has you covered. Harlem's Closet also specializes in exclusive products and limited sneakers and streetwear. Harlem's Closet strives to be your #1 stop for fashion, shoes, and retro classics. Step into Harlem's Closet's world at 514 Gervais Street in downtown Columbia and discover a unique shopping experience that combines urban culture with premium quality. Harlem's Closet is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $100 gift certificate for just $50. Visit 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $100 gift certificate to Harlem's Closet for just $50.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 1075 The Game.
That's right. A lot of news to get into. We're still in the first hour of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall. Our man Ed Bird behind the glass, punching all the buttons and making sure I don't say anything I'm not supposed to say on air. Making sure I don't get in trouble, which is easier said than done, if you can believe that. But last segment, we ended with talking about a big coaching change for Oceanside Collegiate after their Week 0 loss to Irmo. And that's not the only coaching change here in the state of South Carolina. One a little closer to home in the Midlands occurred as well. Before we even get to Week 1, Justin, what do we have on that front?
No, I feel like I'm the breaking news guy, so I'm putting my finger to my ear.
I'm breaking news because I'm touching my earpiece like this.
Like this, yes. And I'm getting very serious. This from the state newspaper. Lou Bajak writing this one. Ray McLeod won't be Keenan's football coach this season. The school placed him on administrative leave this summer, and a Richland One source told the state that he will not coach the remainder of the season. He still is a teacher, though, at the school. He didn't coach in the opener and hasn't been around the team since June. Now, we don't know why he was relieved of his duties, because Keenan Athletic Director Sean Gilley, the Richland One communications spokesperson, and they have not returned the messages and the calls for comment. Athletic Director for Richland One, Bob Matz, has said he could not comment on the matter. So, offensive coordinator Jarrett Neely coached the team in the opener against Dreer. They won, and he will remain the interim coach for the remainder of this season. He's no stranger to the team. He's been there since 2021. So that is the case there at Keenan. Neely is now the interim head coach, as Ray McLeod will not be the coach this season.
Yeah, another very unfortunate timed coaching change. And I mean, look, it might have fueled them because speaking of teams that made a pretty good statement, I mean, Keenan getting a win over Dreer wasn't something I expected. Just looking historically, but Keenan came out, started the year off really, really good, taking Dreer down to the wire and beating them. A very impressive win to start the season, but to have two coaching changes before we even get to Week 1, official coaching changes, because you mentioned Coach McLeod not actively coaching in the game last Friday, isn't something you want to hear. So the hope is that next week we can have everybody that coaches tonight coaching their squad once we get Week 2 started.
Right, and that's the goal. I hope there are no more coaching changes, because that's just not any fun. Most of those take place around January, maybe December, depending on your playoff situation. I would just like for these young men to be able just to worry about football. At Oceanside and Keenan, they haven't been able to do that yet. One's been in limbo since June. The other, their coach resigned this week. I mean, I don't know how you pick up and go play, but they're going to, and hopefully these situations get resolved and everything just kind of works out for these two programs, although, typically that's not always the case.
Certainly. But even with the coaching change, like we mentioned, Keenan still 1-0, which means they get to participate in a little fun, something that we're doing here on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. And we like to acknowledge the teams that are playing football and winning and have still not taken that first L. We've knocked out some space here in the studio. some hypothetical space. And we have to knock out a lot of space because there's 108 schools across the state of South Carolina, whether that be the high school league, SCISA 8-man football, 108 teams in the state that have yet to take an L. And before games even get started here in the first hour of the show, we're going to recognize those teams as being a part of our very exclusive, honorary, undefeated club. So with that being said, Ed Bird, cue me in. Oh my God. So we're going to go ahead and reel off all 108 teams that are in the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show Undefeated Club. You got to show us some ID to get into some clubs. With this, you just got to show us an undefeated record, baby. And all that is 1-0. 5A, we have 28 teams coming into week 1 undefeated. That'll be JL Mann, Hillcrest, TL Hanna, Boiling Springs, Eastside, Riverside, Spartanburg, Dorman, Fort Mill, Clover, Indian Land, Northwestern, Chapin, Irmo, White Knoll, Lexington, River Bluff, Blythewood, Sumter, Ridgeview, Lugoff Elgin, Myrtle Beach, Carolina Forest, Goose Creek, Wando, West Ashley, Somerville, and Fort Dorchester. Now, Justin Hall, you did not hear Dutch Fork there, not because Dutch Fork lost, but because they haven't played yet. Tonight's their first game against Spartanburg. Correct. And to get into the undefeated club, this is not a participatory invite. You got to be on the board with wins first, but I highly anticipate that after tonight, we will be putting the Silver Foxes, get them ITC, if you will.
I would imagine so. If you would like, that was a mouthful. I can take 4A and then toss it back and give you 3, because 4A I think has a few more.
Yeah, they have 21 from what I counted.
Emerald, Fountain Inn, Wren, Westside, Daniel, Pickens, Seneca, Travelers Rest, AC Flora, Lancaster, Richland Northeast, Gray Collegiate, North Augusta, South Aiken, Crestwood, Darlington, South Florence, Wilson, Bluffton, Hilton Head, May River. And that's all for 4A.
That's right. Yeah, and we won't discuss who May River beat.
Nope.
We won't talk about
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope. That did not happen.
Well, it did.
It did, yeah.
Unfortunately.
We will just ignore that fact at the moment. We'll ignore
I'm fine with ignoring facts.
We don't have to have all the details in the undefeated club. Just the teams that, was able to get past our bouncer, which is Ed Bird, standing at the door and checking records. So in 3A, 18 teams were approved by one Ed Bird to get in. That would be West Oak, Belton Hania Path, who I thought had one of the biggest statements in Week 0. Walhalla, and no, that's not the golf course Scotty Scheffler got arrested at. Pendleton, St. Joseph's Catholic, Woodruff, Mountain View Prep, Newberry. My favorite on here, Swansea, the Swansea Tigers, baby. After going winless last year, start the season off by showing Ed Bird a card that says W. Ed Bird lets them on in. Their ITC, having all the Gatorade in the world. Keenan, Loris, Waccamaw, Marlborough County. My grandmother would love them. Georgetown, Aner, Dillon, Orangeburg, Wilkinson, in North Charleston. That is all for 3A.
2A, not as many. Blacksburg, Saluda, Strom-Thurmond, Columbia, Buford, Sherrill, Chesterfield, North Central, Barnwell, Hampton County, they're famous for something, Philip Simmons, Timberland, East Clarendon, Mullins. Those are your only undefeateds left in 2A in 2024.
And then in 1A, we go from 14 undefeateds and 2 now down to 13. We'll go ahead and start off with Louisville. Abbeville, I think we might have Abbeville in the club. They're going to be escalating a lot to different floors as the season goes on. I think they're going to be a frequent visitor. They can get some points and all that good stuff. Dixie, Hunter Kynard Tyler, Wagner Sally, Hardyville, Bamberg Earhart, Baptist Hill, Cross, Branchville, Lakeview, Hannah Pamplico, and Latta.
And then in SCISA, because this is, listen, we're not just dealing with the public schools here.
That's right.
We deal with the SCISA schools as well. So in SCISA Class 4A, we've got, in fact, Elijah, I can just run through all of SCISA because there aren't that many schools to begin with.
Let's do it.
And it's just easier to do it this way. Northwood Academy. Now, this is important. I'm going to make note of this. Northwood Academy, 2-0.
That's right. They're already in the second level. Already one level up, baby.
Ben Lippen, comes in as well, as does Hammond and Lawrence Manning, the Swamp Cats of Lawrence Manning.
Swamp Cats, I like that.
No one in Region 3A in Skeeza, unfortunately, or in Region 1 3A. But we have Northside Christian, Florence Christian, Wilson Hall, PD Academy, Lee Academy, Carolina Academy, Williamsburg Academy, Colin Prep. Here's your two names, Patrick Henry Academy and Thomas Hayward Academy. And I'm not including 8-man ball. Sorry. Are we including 8-man ball?
I did. There's only 5, so there's not many. We can run through those.
All right. Lawrence Academy, Richard Wynn Academy, Wardlaw Academy, Cathedral Academy, Holly Hill Academy, Kings Academy, and then an 8-man independent ball, Providence Athletic Club, 2-0.
See, we have some 2-0s in here, too. That's what we love to see. Sometimes it's cool to get into the club and already know that you have access to the next VIP level, and that's what some of these schools had. What's
interesting here is Providence. I mean, I know it's 8-man ball, but they've outscored their opponents 92-14.
Woo! That's pretty good, right?
That's decent.
Yeah.
I mean, across 2 games, that means you're scoring at least 46 points a game. Not bad. Not a bad start for the Pack Panthers.
Yeah, shout out to you for doing that math on the fly right there. My Middle Tennessee State education wouldn't allow me to be able to do such a thing on the spot.
I got very scared halfway through before I gave you the 46. My brain smoke was leaving my ears there for a second. So, yeah. Now, you know what? I'm wondering if, Elijah, over-under, how many teams are going to be in that undefeated club come week 6?
Oh, man. See, we used to do this bit. Yeah, we used to do this bit in Nashville a lot. And by the time we got to like week 6, week 7, when you got to each classification, there'd only be like 3 or 4. So if we're averaging 3 teams of classification, because like my numerical breakdown here is 28 in 5A, 21 in 4A, 18 in 3A, 14 in 2A, and 13 in 1A. I think we will average about 4 or 5 in each single one. So if that's the case, we'll have 25 roughly at SCHSL. And then in Skeeza, which we have, I guess my numerical breakdown here is 16 plus 3, that's 19 allegedly, plus 2, 21. I think we might get down to maybe 4.
Yeah,
so
you're not going to have that many there.
I think once we get to the 6th level of the undefeated club, where the Gatorade is flowing, the dancing is bountiful, and the space is limited, that we will be sub 30 schools in all.
That's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment. And I look forward to seeing this throughout the year. We keep an eye on it usually, but it'll be a different set of eyes on it this year because it's that important. By the way, score updates for you. Oklahoma has a 14-0 lead over Temple. They have a fumble. They have a fumble recovery and an interception on the defensive side of the ball. And it is Temple, but I have to say, Oklahoma is tailoring their offensive game plan to maybe hide the weaknesses on that offensive line. I'll put it that way. They are moving quickly. They are out in space on the edges. Not a lot of north-south for Coach Brent Venables and his ball club. And if you are a fan of, apparently, after listening to the postgame show, the hard-suffering Atlanta Braves.
Oh, yeah. They are terrible history.
They are up 4-0 on the Fightin' Phils of Philadelphia right now. But hey, they were up 4-0 last night as well. So long way to go there. But those are 2 scores that have my attention outside of the scores on our scoreboard that we'll be getting to here in a little while.
Absolutely. And we have a team strike first in Northside Christian versus Wilson Hall. And holy Sean Payton, Batman, we have a surprise onside kick. We'll tell you who did that as the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show continues.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals. honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
Firehouse Subs, hook and ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard mayo, pepper spread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs
Just
restaurants.
how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Sunneth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SunnethAuto.com.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. Ends 8/31. Price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you get the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast. You're also saying the record's going to go down.
I'm saying the record's going down anyway.
I don't think you're off on this at all. Like, you're spot on here. I don't think this is an overreaction because we have no idea what we're reacting to. Come react or overreact with us. Would you say that? An overreaction, sir. Overreaction Monday. Wherever you listen, it's game over.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
So much preview, so little time. We have games that have started, that haven't experienced heat delays. And for those that are at games tonight, make sure you stay hydrated, stay cool, because it is ungodly out there here around the state this afternoon. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall. Ed Bird behind the glass, making sure we don't get in any type of legal trouble. And he does not get paid enough for that task, to be honest. But Justin Hall, we have some scores from around the state so far. What you got for us here in the first couple minutes of some of these games?
Let's see here. I'm looking at my scoreboard. I just hit refresh, so let's hope we stay with it here. Looking at you, ScoreStream. The Grayson Rams out of Loganville, Georgia. You know Loganville. They lead Dorman 14-0 over in Loganville. Currently, no score showing between Branchville and C.A. Johnson. This is my opportunity that if you're listening to my voice and you say, well, that's not right. There's a score here. Perfect. All the more reason for you to pick up that phone and call us at 803-404-6100, or you can hit us on the Twitter machine. Always will be Twitter. You can hit us there as well. The Wynn Academy Eagles, WINN.
Not to be confused with Randy Wynn, former longtime Major League Baseball outfielder. Two different names.
Correct. They are also facing another Eagle, the Newberry Academy Eagles. They lead 24-0. That one in the first quarter. Oh, there's another one. Had to scroll kind of far down there. Hannah Pamplico, the Raiders, lead the Waccamaw Warriors 12-0 down there in the Low Country. And there you go. That's all ScoreStream is giving me right now. So that's oh wait, hold on. Marlborough County leads Sherrall 20-0. The Braves are trailing in that one, and we don't like that at all. We like all Braves everywhere.
That's right.
To play well.
The Respecters of Braves across the great United States.
That's the goal. Fairfield Central, the Griffins lead the Union County Yellow Jackets 12-0. Thought it was a baseball score. Turns out it's not. Strom Thurmond leads Silver Bluff 2-0 in that ball game. Here's another one. The Fighting Hornets of Ware Shoals lead the 96 Wildcats 8-6. That one also in the first quarter. A lot of home runs in that one. Yeah, a lot of homers in that one. That's a baseball game from this generation.
That is.
The Lucy Beckham Bengals lead the Iron Horses of Philip Simmons 6-0. That one in the first quarter. The Bluffton Bobcats lead the Andrew Jackson Volunteers 8-0 in the first quarter. This one's also in the first. Wilson leads Gilbert. So the Tigers over the Indians right now 6-0 in that ball game. That one's at Wilson. Belton Honeypath hitting the road a little bit. They're like driving down the street to go to Greer to take on the Yellow Jackets of Greer. But BHP leads 6-0 in the first quarter there. The Woodruff Wolverines lead the Fountain Inn Fury 6-0 in the first quarter in that ball game as well. The Green Wave. Here's a game. You want a statewide game that looks good? And this is my reaction when I haven't seen this listed anywhere. Somerville is hosting South Florence. Ooh. Yeah, and the Green Wave lead that one over the Bruins 7-0 in the first quarter. The Diamond Hornets of Lower Richland lead 7-0 over Spring Valley. The Dillon Wildcats and the Socastee Braves, respecter of Braves everywhere. Those teams are tied at 7. That one in the second quarter. No score between Greenville and Riverside or South Point and Rock Hill. No score showing between Brooklyn Casey and River Bluff or Northwestern and Ridgeview. The Nationport Falcons lead the York Cougars 7-6, and Lexington has tacked on a field goal. They lead 3-0 over North Augusta early in that ball game. And the Loris Lions lead the Conway Tigers 7-0. Blythewood up on Midland Valley 7-0. Cane Bay leads Ashley Ridge 10-6. That is a look at the scoreboard as of right now.
That's right. And then at the beginning of each hour, we're going to give you more updates as well. I just see right now from the item that White Knoll strikes first. Landon Sharp throws a touchdown pass to Caleb Geronimi. They lead Sumter High 7-0, 8:46 left in the first right there. And then your Watch Fox 57 game of the week is at Wilson Hall with Northside Christian taking on the Barons of Wilson Hall. Northside Christian scored a touchdown to get on the board first. They were leading 6-0 and then responded with a surprise onside kick. I can almost see Thomas Morstead for the Saints doing that in the Super Bowl against the Colts. Also known as one of the greatest nights of my life to this day.
I'm sure it was.
As the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl with a little bit of help from that surprise onside kick, which you can't do in the NFL anymore. That is a negative side effect of the new kickoff rule. But the Crusaders of Northside Christian still lead 6-0 on Wilson Hall, but Wilson Hall did get the ball back, so a little bit of stopping Uncle Mo there for the Barons.
The Shamrocks of Eau Claire. This is why I love Twitter. The scoreboards might be slow for you, but Twitter is usually pretty instant. No score between Greenwood and Beaufort. Greenwood on the road at Beaufort. That's a far drive for those guys. Eau Claire, the Shamrocks, lead Bethune 6-0. That one in the first quarter. We've got no score between R&E and whoever they're playing, and I'm trying to find that name here. Crestwood. Crestwood and R&E, no score. Chris Deering out of that ball game. Both teams have had one possession so far, middle of the first quarter. And how about a soccer score? How about a score from the beautiful game? The Gamecocks are hosting the number 1 Clemson Tigers.
At school, whatever.
At Stone Stadium tonight. Well, those teams are tied at 1. After the Gamecocks scored the equalizer here. So a lot going on across the sporting world, and we're keyed in on some great high school action that's really starting to get rolling.
We certainly are. We're going to give you a more full scoreboard update in the next hour. So much more to get into. All these games are kicking off in the first quarter. We will give you all of the action here, right here on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show on The Game.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous, You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock football.
Kickoff is tomorrow.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Call Zero Rest Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning today and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get a free hallway cleaned with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129. Book online at zerorestcolumbia.com.
Healthy Connections Medicaid members, did you know you need to renew your Medicaid coverage each year? You can complete your annual Medicaid eligibility review or check your status online at apply.scdhhs.gov. Healthy Connections Medicaid members can now create an ID.me account to easily stay up to date and report household changes. Visit apply.scdhhs.gov to learn more. And remember, submit your review when it's time to renew. This message is from Healthy Connections Medicaid and paid for by DPH.
Back for a limited time only, it's Firehouse Subs Barbecue Cuban Sub featuring slow smoked pulled pork, honey ham, melted Swiss, golden mustard barbecue sauce, chipotle slaw, and spicy pickle chips, all on a toasted sub roll. It's Southern roots with a Cuban twist. Try the Barbecue Cuban Sub at Firehouse Subs today. They make their subs differently because their subs can make a difference every day. At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide much-needed life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Since 1963, Takeuchi has been a pioneer in the compact construction industry, having developed the world's first compact excavator in 1971 and the world's first compact rubber track loader in 1986. Takeuchi continues to revolutionize the industry through innovative technology and listening to customer needs. Now you can partner with a truly global leader by contacting TEC Rental Equipment in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. From world first to world leader, Takeuchi.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5.
The Game.
That's right. Week 1 underway. We are late in the first quarter for a lot of games. In the next segment, we will have your scoreboard rundown to the extent of our knowledge. And with the help, that's right. Yeah, which between the three of us here that work on this show, I would say is very limited, but we try very hard.
I don't know. Ed's pulling us up.
He is. He is pulling the team. You know how like there's some guys on the team, whether it be college, high school, like whatever, they're the ones that bring up the team GPA.
Oh yeah.
Ed Bird, not only producer extraordinaire, but he is like solely lifting up this team GPA because Justin and I are anchoring the hell out of it. It is, it can be pretty ugly between the two of us.
It's true.
Unfortunately.
I've got nothing else other than that's true. I mean, anchoring, maybe like Anchorman, which is good.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, maybe. Stay classy, San Diego. Let's look at some Week 1 rankings to bail me out of this conversation.
We're telling on ourselves too much.
This is Week 1, and these are the Week 1 rankings, which are different than the Week 0 rankings. Actually, there are some differences because, well, some teams lost. Let's go to 5A first. We'll start, you know what, let's start at number 10. Spartanburg comes in ranked number 10, 1-0. Every team has a record but the top two, and they're all undefeated. Sumter at number 9, T.L. Hanna 8, White Knoll 7, J.L. Mann 6, Irmo 5, Somerville 4. Northwestern comes in at number 3. They get 2 first-place votes. Gaffney is the number 2 team. They have a first-place vote. They have not played a game until tonight. And the Dutch Fork Silver Foxes, 16 first-place votes. And they are playing their first game of the season tonight on the road at Spartanburg, who's ranked number 10. Hillcrest, Boiling Springs, Lexington, Fort Dorchester, Ridgeview, Clover, and Burns all receiving votes in 5A. In the 4A ranks, North Augusta is ranked number 10. Brooklyn Casey comes in at number 9. Opening game tonight at River Bluff. AC Flora is number 8. Camden, number 7. They're 0-1. South Point, number 6. They're 0-1. Hartsville, number 5. Gray Collegiate, number 4. Daniel comes in at 3rd. South Florence comes in at number 2 and receiving all 19 first-place votes in Class 4A. Westside. In Class 3A, Christ Church is number 10. Chapman, the Fighting Debo Samuels, number 9. Loris is 8. Woodruff is 7. Mountain View Prep is 6. Marlborough County, number 5. Inside the top 5, Ocean Collegiate is number 4. Pendleton comes in at 3. Dillon, 1 first-place vote. They're number 2. And the number 1 team in Class 3A, Belton Honiopath, 18 first-place votes. Other teams receiving votes include St. Joseph's, Newberry, Aner, Broome, Keenan, Silver Bluff, Powdersville, South Aiken, Waccamaw, Hanahan, Orangeburg, Wilkinson, and North Charleston. In Class 2A, Hampton County is the number 1 team. I'm going to flip the order here. The number 1 team in Class 2A, 11 first-place votes. Strom Thurmond, the number 2 team, they have 6 first-place votes. 2 0-1 teams are next. Chester and Clinton, 3 and 4. Barnwell rounds out the top 5 with a first-place vote. Philip Simmons is number 6, followed by Andrew Jackson, Fairfield Central, Sherraw, who's getting a first-place vote at number 9, and Timberland, number 10. Manning, Blacksburg, Batesburg, Leesville, East Clarendon, Marion, Andrews, Chesney, and Mullins all receiving votes. And in Class 1A, the Abbeville Panthers are the number 1 team, 19 first-place votes, followed by Bamberg Earhart, Louisville, Lakeview, Cross round out the top 5. Hunter Kinder Tyler comes in at number 6, Latta at number 7. The pride of Lamar is Tommy Suggs, but Lamar is number 8. They lost last week. They're 0-1. By the way, Elijah, did you see the new entrance area for coming in for 2001?
Yes.
Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen?
Oh, I love that. I'm
awesome.
a huge fan of that, and maybe overdue. I didn't even really know the story of Tommy Suggs being the reason that 2001 became like the entrance and the theme for the run out. And the fact that it's been that way since the 80s, it's stuff like that makes college football the most special sport on the planet. But to be able to recognize that and kind of add a little bit of legend to the lore, I think is just fantastic. That's one of the coolest things that's come from South Carolina football this week before we, put toe to leather.
Oh, yeah, and he's one of the nicest people in and around the program, and there are a lot of nice people in that program. He's one of them, and just an amazing person. And every great moment in Gamecock football history since the time when he started doing that color commentary position, it's a big moment because you hear him, even if he's not doing the play-by-play. And so I'm really happy about that. Blackville Hill to number 9 and Johnsonville number 10. Hannah Pamplico, Branchville, Dixie, Wagner Sally, Calhoun County, Williston Elko, Baptist Hill, Ridge Spring, Minetta, home of the Big Mo, the best drive-in in South Carolina, and Ridgeville rounding out those receiving votes. That's your top 10 from across all classifications. In the public school arena, the SCHSL, yes, the South Carolina High School League.
It's a mouthful.
Mouthful to say. Those are the rankings in the public school realm of things. And Elijah, real quick, I want to get us a quick update as well before we dive into the scoreboard. Oklahoma, at last check, leading Temple 17-0 right now. And as I look to my right, the Bravos lead 4-1 over the Fightin' Phils with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying not to look at it, mainly because the Phillies uniforms are just awful.
Are they wearing the powder blues, or is it the City Connect?
No. They wore the powder blues last night, and those are amazing.
Yeah.
They're wearing their City Connects tonight, and they have one of the worst City Connect uniforms in Major League Baseball. The Braves have one of the best, in my opinion. Non-biased there. But we're going to the sixth inning now. Braves lead 4-1. But a great night of action across high school football tonight in the Palmetto State. And I want to talk really quick, Elijah. I know we're want to get a scoreboard update as well. I want to talk about Ridgeview and Northwestern.
Yes.
That game that's taking place there, I believe last check score was 7-7. I have to go back and look. And I know I'm following Northwestern's Twitter page, which is one of the best high school football Twitter pages in the state. And this is a ball club that had a 20-point deficit overcome last week.
Remarkable win.
And now they're on the road at Ridgeview. Not an easy lift at all. But I'm really liking what Ridgeview has coming into this season.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I thought they were really solid last year, too. I mean, that 4A was just so crowded. This might be a team that benefits maybe the most from some of the reclassification that we had from last year to this year.
Exactly. And that score right now is Northwestern 7 and Ridgeview 6. They're in the second quarter. Trojans forced a fumble by Ridgeview and recover in the end zone for a touchback, but they are forced to punt it away after a 3-and-out. So Ridgeview takes over at their own 43-yard line with 9:19 to go in the second quarter. And I'm looking at Northwestern's schedule. This is impressive. Do you know whomst they play next week?
Oh, man. I assume it's in the state of South Carolina.
It is.
5A school?
4.
West Side.
South Florence.
Listen,
I mean,
South Florence has made themselves a pretty good gauntlet of a schedule, too. I mean, we've gotten some marquee matchups here for the first few weeks of the season. Hat tip to the coaches in South Carolina for making their non-region slate as tough and challenging as can be. It's good for us, and it's just as good for those kids, too.
Yeah, they got Ridgeview tonight. Then they've got South Florence, South Point, Nation Ford, Catawba Ridge, Clover, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, and Indian Land. Now, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, Indian Land, no offense to the great young men in those programs, but you sort of give yourself a runway into the playoffs there the last 3 weeks. But that stretch between, in-state competition from August 30th to October 4th, Ridgeview should be ranked. South Florence ranked. South Point ranked. Nation Ford will be ranked. Catawba Ridge could be ranked. Clover is ranked. That is a very difficult 6-ish game stretch there if everything shakes out the way we think it will. But that says a lot about Ridgeview. And Ridgeview is one of those local teams right now that I think is really on the precipice of really being able, as you said, Elijah, to benefiting from the move to 5A. Because 4A was extremely crowded last year.
Yeah.
3A was also extremely crowded. I think 5A is just as crowded, but again, now you have the split, so that makes it a little bit different when you come to the playoffs. And you're looking around, if you're Ridgeview, and you're going, all right, we got a shot here. And I think they're talented enough to certainly challenge. I think they're talented enough to win several games in the playoffs. And it says a lot that they're hanging with Northwestern, a team that is notoriously hanging 40s every week.
Certainly. Yeah, it's an absolutely loaded slate and really good scheduling for a lot of these teams. And one game that I haven't seen anything about so far, and whenever we get to break here in a little bit, I want to try to grab my shovel and do some digging to try to find the score of this. But great collegiate, all the drama they went through last year, and we have discussed the drama ad nauseum, but now not only are they up to 4A and playing some incredibly tough competition that they have to play, for those who aren't familiar with the Baylor School in Chattanooga, Eric Kimry, Gamecock great, coaching them right now. But Baylor is a school, they played on ESPN last week on a Sunday. They routinely are either playing for or winning the Tennessee State Championship at their classification, which in Tennessee, all private schools are separated from public schools. And because just the resources that those schools have, that Baylor has, Macaulay has, Montgomery Bell Academy has, are just incomparable to other schools in the rest of the state. It's the cream of the crop, and Eric Kimmery's programs is as good as it gets. We're going to see what Gray Collegiate really has. I thought they impressed me with squeaking out the win against a good James Island team last Friday, and they fought James Island off. And defensively, I mean, James Island had the kickoff return for a touchdown to go up 7-0 to start the game. But after that, they only gave up one touchdown. That is a very interesting game that I am really excited to grab my shovel and hopefully do some digging and discovering here once we get to the break.
And that's a good idea. Not only to mention a couple of games real quick as well. Lexington still leading 3-0. Lower Richland leading 20-0 over Spring Valley. Spring Valley again having a tough time post Coach Robin Bacon. The Shamrocks of Eau Claire lead Bethune 20-0. All of these games are starting to turn their way to halftime. How about this ball game? Riverside 14, Greenville nothing.
Ooh.
And 14th point was scored by Jaden Taylor. And his name on Twitter is Jaden Speedy Taylor. And it was a 76-yard catch and run for Mr. Taylor. Very good play there. Got it on a jump ball. 14-0 still in the first quarter between Riverside and Greenville.
If you're going to have the nickname Speedy, 70-plus yard touchdowns are something that you're going to have to make pretty routine. I think he is living up to that nickname pretty well. We'll go ahead and take a quick break right here, and we come back. We'll have a full scoreboard rundown for you. All of the action in the state, a little bit of Braves updates, a little bit of SEC football updates, because there's SEC football being played tonight, and it involves Oklahoma. I know. It's weird for me, too. It's so weird. But we'll give you an update on what's happening in Norman and so much more. You are listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show here on The Game.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia. Highway 378 at I-20.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, the Labor Day sale. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
That's right. It's the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall. He's Ed Bird behind the glass. And for the first time tonight, now that we're about a quarter and a half into some of these games, I think it's time to hit the music, Ed Bird. Oh, yes, sir. I feel alive right now. We'll go ahead and start with our game of the night, eagerly awaiting for Cale Wilson to give us an update. But to give some more details, but a touchdown pass gives Irmo a 7-0 lead over Burns. River Bluff leads Brooklyn Casey, and Brooklyn Casey's opener to the season, 7-0. No score from Dutch Fork, Spartanburg, or Gray Collegiate and Baylor. One of the games of the night that we just got on talking about in the last segment, Northwestern versus Ridgeview, still a tight contest. Northwestern with a 1-point lead, 7-6 over Ridgeview. White Knoll leads Sumter 7-0 with a touchdown pass from Landon Sharp to Caleb Geronimi. They are on the board. They are a team that really good week 0 win rather, against Camden. They're building on that momentum as they're climbing up the standings. Lexington's field goal gets them a 3-0 lead over North Augusta in the early goings. Dreer is up on Lakewood by a score of 6-0. Keenan, in the second week without their head coach, leads Pendleton 8-0. Somerville up on South Florence, a sneaky great game of the week. But Somerville, the Green Wave, lead 7-0 over the Bruins. Eau Claire scores first in their game against Bethune. I almost called him Bethune-Cookman. No Cookman, just Bethune. Hold the Cookman, please.
Bethune-Bowman.
Bethune-Bowman, that's right. Oh, man, college football, it's here, and it's soiled my brain. But Eau Claire is up 6-0. Socastee are tied with Dillon, 7-7. Columbia strikes first against Pillion, 7-0. Northside Christian up on Wilson Hall right now, 9-0. They tack on a field goal to add to their lead. One update we have is that Rock Hill and South Point, that game postponed. I believe it's because of the heat, but I did see that come across the Twitter timeline. That game is postponed for tomorrow and will be played at 11 a.m. The early frontrunner for the Elijah Campbell favorite baseball score of the night, Strom Thurmond leads Silver Bluff 2-0. Saluda is up on Ridge Spring Minetta 13-0. St. Joseph Catholic up on the Chapman Fighting Debo Samuel 6-0. That score's still accurate, right? The 6-0 one?
I believe so. That's what I've got.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's not accurate, then we're both wrong.
That's right. Exactly. And at least if we're going to be wrong, I prefer we do it together. Fairfield Central leads Union County 12-6. Newberry up on Mid Carolina 6-0. Marlboro County, that would be my grandmother's favorite team, 27-7 lead over Sherall. We also have Blackville Hilda up on Edisto 20-6. Lake City leads Timberland 6-0. Dixie up on Fox Creek 7-0. Hannah Pamplico up on Waccamaw 14-7. Hunter Kiner Tyler leads Louisville 6-0. Northwood strikes first against First Baptist. They're up by a score of 7-0. Finding more scores here as we scroll. Win is all over Newberry Academy right now. It's in the second quarter, but it's 32-0 Eagles of Win. A lot of scoring being done there. Port Dorman, they had a little bit of a down year last year, and this year they are not starting off, but they're playing tonight over in Loganville, Georgia, against the Rams of Grayson. They're in the second quarter, and Dorman's down 28-0. Not a hot start for the Cavaliers on the road against a very good out-of-state opponent. Palmetto leads Crescent 7-0. Ben Lippen and Trinity Collegiate are still knotted up at 0. Everything else, if I have not found it, I'm just going to assume that there are goose eggs under both teams on the scoreboard. So if I've missed anything, Justin Hall, fill in the gaps, because that is all I have at the moment.
I will gladly. I want to thank Chris for hitting me on the Twitters. Bamberg Earhart leads Buford 14-0. They're in a weather delay in the second quarter. Could be some late. When the heat indices reach 137 as they did today, I always like to tell people that from about the end of May until maybe mid-September, always factor in about a 20% chance of rain because we could get a little, what I would call just an absolute torrential downpour because of that humidity. So that is probably the weather delay there. Midland Valley trails Blythewood 10-7. North Central trailing the Fighting Rick Henrys of McBee 22-14. And how about Coach Nick Pelham's Timberwolves, Elijah?
Yes.
They lead Sumter 20-6 right now.
All right, I'll take that one.
White Knoll, I'm telling you, that's the sign of a program.
It is.
And I'm using the Will Muschamp version. Program. Because they are, let me see if I can recollect 2016 through like 2020. They are sticking their face in the fan. They are getting their run fits put together. They are really hitting the A gap. I think that's it. That's really every Muschamp presser. Hartsville leads Carolina 14-13. North Augusta leads 7-3 now over Lexington, as North Augusta was able to put one in the end zone. Crestwood leads Richland Northeast 14-6. And then Hillcrest leads Clover. Wow. That would be, let me look at my media poll really quick, because media polls are ultimately what matter here.
That's the true authority, baby.
Clover is getting votes, and so is Hillcrest. So two really good teams in 5A. It's a 20-point margin. Hillcrest leading Clover 20-0. Cane Bay over Ashley Ridge 16-12. Lawrence leads Clennon 8-7. That one in the second quarter, and Northwestern still showing 7-6 leaders over Ridgeview. Fairfield Central leading Union County 12-6, and Dixie leads Fox Creek 7-3. Again, a lot of these games are in the process, and they'll be updated as we go. Camden leads Lugoff Elgin 16-0 in that ball game as well, Mr. Campbell. And what's interesting...
That's a shocker.
That's a shocker. What's interesting about all these games is they're not even at halftime yet. We got a long way to go in these ball games. Oceanside Collegiate facing Calvary Day. That's an out-of-state school. That game's tied at 6. JL Man. Did you give a JL Man Gaffney score?
I have not. That's a big game.
JL Man, the number 6 team in 5A, leads Gaffney 7-6 in a classic upstate rock fight. Just an absolute rock fight in the upstate, and that's what we like to see. Speaking of rock fights, Mr. Campbell, we just gave a rundown of the scoreboard in high school football. Really quickly, I want to make a note that Oklahoma is, well, still leading their ball game as my scoreboard refreshes. Last check, it was 17-0 as they continue to try to pour it on those poor Temple Owls.
Poor Temple.
From the Pennsylvania area.
Philly?
Tomorrow's really good. Tomorrow is the kind of day we all wait for.
Oh, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is a week one that makes you go, yeah, this is the sport.
We're back.
We're back, baby. And it starts at noon. Clemson at Georgia. Georgia's the designated home team, and, well, to be fair, they're playing on what is the graveyard of the Georgia Dome anyway. They're playing at Mercedes-Benz, where the Falcons play, and where the Falcons will win the NFC South this year, sir. Georgia.
All that. Those fighting words.
Georgia, 12-point favorite over Clemson tomorrow. That game kicks off at noon, but that's not the only good nooner. The noon window's really good. West Virginia hosts Penn State. How about Penn State having to go to Morgantown,
yeah,
to take on West Virginia on the road? Sleepy. James Franklin, not overrated. He's adequately rated.
Yeah, very.
Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt, another one. Sleepy. I'm high on the Hokies, but careful.
I'm drinking
careful
that Kool-Aid,
there.
baby. I'm chugging it.
Speaking, Chattanooga is playing Tennessee in Knoxville, and here you go, your first CBS game of the week, 3:30. Who you thinking? You thinking Texas A&M and Notre Dame? Nope, the SEC's not there anymore.
Boo.
Ohio State hosts Akron.
Disgusting. A CBS game of the week that's going to be a 50-point spread.
Yeah, Miami, the number 19 team in the country, goes to Florida tomorrow, and a 3:30. If they die special. Because you're putting these teams out in the swamp at 3:30 in August. So I hope you don't have heat exhaustion, kids. That one is a loser coach is immediately on the hot seat.
Yep, anxiety
immediately. Immediately, and it shouldn't be for Mario Cristobal, by the way. Just a couple more for you. There's a game at Williams-Brice at 4:15. Don't know if you've heard about it.
Oh, really?
The Gamecocks host Old Dominion. Yeah, you might want to check that one out.
Put that on my schedule.
If you're in the area. Furman, a couple of SEC games. Furman goes to Ole Miss. Western Kentucky gets a new era started over there in Tuscaloosa as they take on the Tide. Best game of the night is going to be Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Is Texas A&M for real?
I need to see proof of concept first. I love Mike Elko as a coach. I think that was the right hire, but it's still, that's a school where, skepticism should always be the first one met at the door of the party.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm going to take Notre Dame there in that one, even though I probably shouldn't because their O-line is just atrociously bad. And then two more games for you. Southern Cal at LSU. Man, that's awesome that Southern Cal's traveling to Death Valley to play in Baton Rouge. Nope, sorry, that's in Vegas.
Lincoln Riley would never. Not over his dead body.
Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma so he wouldn't have to do that. And then Florida State hosts Boston College on your Labor Day special. Your Labor Day night game is Florida State trying to move to 1-1 against Boston College. So your slate really falls off a cliff there late. But a lot of great games tomorrow. We got great games tonight. That's why this is considered the first full Football Friday for me, because I can do this show in anticipation that when I wake up in the morning and I have my cup of coffee, that I will be watching College Game Day and getting ready for a literal full day of college football. And there aren't many things better than that, other than when you have the NFL the following day.
That's right. And we're only 1 week away from that. So the fact that we can celebrate it like this is a gift for all of us. Got a couple of y'all waiting on the lines right now. We'll go ahead and start off with our man, Roger. I know Roger's got some score updates for us. Roger, what's the latest, my man?
Yeah, Auburn Prim 18, Jefferson Davis nothing in the second quarter.
All right. Jefferson Davis getting blanked 18-0. Thank you for the call, Roger. Appreciate the update, good sir. Interesting score there. And I know Roger's going to keep us posted with that one all night. He's really good with keeping us up to date with scores from that part of the state and those classifications. We'll go ahead and hit up Cale on the phone lines here. Cale, I know Irmo and Burns, I know probably at least a quarter in the books. Last we saw it was 7-0. What's the latest and what stood out to you so far?
So it is still 7-0 here at W.C. Hawkins Stadium. But Irmo went on a drive, and they were targeting Donovan Murph a lot. He got a lot of touches in his first drive and in the second. But it was really interesting because MJ Jeter, that's the guy that's been locked up with Murph all night, had 2 pass breakups in a row. The first one was nearly an interception before Donovan Murph turned into a defensive back. And the second one was a trick play, it was a screen pass to the running back and then a pass to the back of the end zone, and Jeter was able to break that up last second. Now Burns has the ball, 3rd down and 9 on Irmo's 25-yard line after a missed field goal by Irmo. And Salik Dawkins just picked up a 1st down to keep that drive alive for Burns.
Wow. So how would you guess, one of the focus players of this game going into it was A.J. Brand, the Virginia Tech commit. Before we let you go, Cale, go ahead and ask, what's your kind of evaluation of his performance so far? It might be a little bit of a tougher defense that he's playing tonight as opposed to Oceanside Collegiate last week, despite how good Oceanside Collegiate is. But what's been your evaluation of him so far?
He's been doing an amazing job at getting out of the pressure. There's been once or twice where he's gotten caught up because this Burns D-line has been really feisty. They come up with some really creative blitzes. And a fumble just happened, but they got it back. Burns did.
Quick recovery.
But yes, very quick. Salik Dawkins was right on top of that. But Brand has done a pretty great job. There's been a couple times where he's tried to run, use his legs, but for the most part, I don't think he's been able to do much. He's had to do everything through the air. Burns defense has done a really good job of keeping him contained. The first time he tried to run, getting out of the pocket, spent about 10 seconds running just to lose a yard. And the second time he tried to run for it, and it was a no gain on the play. So this Burns defense has done a great job containing him.
Good stuff. Cale Wilson, he'll be giving us updates throughout the night on Irmo and Burns. Yellow Jackets lead 7-0. Appreciate you calling in, Cale. Hear from you here in a bit.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Wow. So, Burns defense, it's traveling. Defense travels, Justin Hall.
It does.
That's a high school football adage, a tale as old as time. But Burns hanging in there, man. Even with some key players that aren't available, they're not going away.
They're not. And Burns, again, defense travels and really historicity travels at this point because
good usage of that word. Very well done.
Thank you.
That is that is senior English level.
That's a name bowl when you got a team like Burns coming in. They travel well because there's just an expectation of being really good. Mm-hmm. And again, that 3-point loss to TL Hanna is what it is. But that's a really good ball club that's going to have to overcome a lot of adversity. And playing a team like Irmo early in the year, that'll prove to be very beneficial for them come region play.
It has. That's going to be one of those teams that I don't really care what their record is because they do have such a loaded slate and they are playing exclusively road games that no matter what their record is at the end of the season, if I have to play them in the playoffs, I'm not going to want to. I'm going to want zero part of that. I have a feeling they'll be the Dutch Fork, maybe down year, but I don't want to see them in November team of the year. It's certainly looking like that is a real possibility. We'll give you some more scores and some of the latest from around the state, run through some rankings, try to give you the latest from all the scores here in the Midlands and the rest of the state of South Carolina. You're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show here on The Game.
What's up, Gamecocks? Summer is officially here, and those famously hot temps, they aren't going anywhere soon. Super hot days can be incredibly stressful on your lawn, and even more stressful on the person maintaining it. So don't spend hours pushing around an old lawnmower or going 2 miles an hour on a bumpy old rider. Come to Cato's Power Equipment. Whether you have just a few weeds or tons of acres of grass to keep cut, our huge selection of Toro, Bravely, and Aaron zero turns will make short work of your yard. Guaranteed. Spend more time where it matters this summer. And like Cato's Power Equipment, help make your yard an oasis, not a chore.
Calling all business owners and property managers. Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved? Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it. If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair, Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt and improve your curb appeal. Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, for many years, AAA has been your year-round ally against changing weather across the Midlands, whether it's the hot summers or those cool winters. Let their expert team make sure that your home is always an oasis of comfort. And now, Roy and Dana Finley have a spectacular offer to make it even better for you and your family for years to come. How about 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024, plus guaranteed financing, a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and their 15-year parts and labor guarantee that speaks volumes of the trust in their service and in their products. AAA has done things at my house that make my family nice and comfortable all year long. They can do it for you too. Get a free quote today. Call AAAtoday.com. That's call AAAtoday.com or give them a shout at 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
The Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
That's right. We're back. He's Justin Hall. I'm Elijah Campbell. Ed Bird and Master Control behind the glass, keeping us in shape, answering the phones, and helping us collect some of these scores from around the state. Some updates so far, or at least some. Chapin leading, a deep ball pass from Brady Albro to Kalen Bostic, one of those talented receivers that Uncle Lou Bajak talked about in the second segment of the show. Those two connect, and it's 14-0 Chapin. 3:07 to go in the first quarter. A game that's very tightly matched. Two teams that picked up big wins on the road to start the season, playing two undefeated club members, mind you, and Chapin up to a 2-score lead to start. Surprised a little bit? I think I am. I figured AC Flora, as good as they looked last week in a 42-6 win, I am a little surprised to see that Chapin's jumped out to an early lead like this.
Oh, I am as well. Now, AC Flora, again, we put a lot of stock at what happened last week, but again, they're coming off of a rough season, and
yes.
So they've got a little ways to go, and I think we'll see that as it goes throughout the year because they're playing in a tough region too. And Chapin's no slouch. Chapin's got a great quarterback and good situation over there offensively for Brady Albro and company. So not totally shocked by the score necessarily, unless we see Chapin really start to pour it on here later on.
Yeah, definitely. So that's one to keep an eye on. And AC Flora can score the ball. Last year, we've mentioned it before, and you did a good job of detailing it last year. Just the defensive struggles that AC Flora had, but the offense wasn't the problem. I do think we will see a lot of light bulbs being lit on that scoreboard tonight. One of the games we've been looking forward to as well, White Knoll and Sumter. White Knoll jumped out to an early lead, but since then Sumter has scored. Looks like Frank Richardson, this is from the Item Sports, a tweet from the Item Sports. Frank Richardson flips a pitch to Cam Fortune, and the senior does the rest, taking off for 22 yards and a score. Sumter High trails White Knoll now just 26-13, cutting that lead in half. 5:42 to play till the break.
And so a lot of these games, as my scoreboard refreshes, a lot of these games are either at halftime or very close to halftime, so around the 8:30 mark. This is normally, last year, this is when I'd be driving to the studio. So important to know that they are getting to halftime now. I do have an update for you in a soccer match. They call it a match, right?
Yes, they do call it a match. That is played on a pitch.
over at the Graveyard at Stone Stadium, the Gamecocks are taking on the number 1 Clemson Tigers, the defending national champion Clemson Tigers. Coach Tony Annan is trying to build a program. Well, this would be kind of a thing to do it. Gabe Nickerson with the goal. Carolina leads Clemson 2-1.
Look at that.
With under 40 minutes to go in the match. I'm telling you, careful. And tonight's game is the first goal that Carolina scored tonight is their first goal against the Tigers since the 2019-2020 season.
Oh, wow.
And I'm looking at a video. I want to thank the folks over at Famously Garnet Sports for this one, because they do a lot of the clips and stuff through the countdown for the season. That place is electric.
Oh, I love that.
It is electric.
And, getting ready for our interview with Ray Tanner on the postgame show, if you want to go back to the 107.5 The Game podcast pages. Nice plug right there.
Look at you.
Jay Phillips and I had, the athletic director Ray Tanner on, and I wanted to bring up something about this game, right? Because I knew it was going to be a great atmosphere. I knew that Clemson has a really good history in men's soccer. But I learned in the press release that's emailed to, members of the media, because this was something I was not made privy to before this, was that South Carolina men's soccer has led the country in attendance for the last 2 seasons. There's a lot of good stuff going on back there at the Graveyard, man. And it's one, if you haven't gotten out to a game and you're just curious about how that looks, I highly recommend it, because people are coming out in droves. They
are. For sure. One more quick score that's not in the high school footprint before I get back to some scores that I'm seeing on my screen. JT Real Muto just hit an absolute missile off of Pierce Johnson. However, that trims the lead down to 5. The Braves lead the Phillies 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th. No lead is safe against that Phillies offense. Whale Branch leads Hardyville 28-0.
Before you jinx it.
Before I jinx it. Dillon leads Socastee 20-7. Looking for a few more here. How about Emerald leading Travelers Rest 21-0. Nation Ford over York 7-6. Marion over Latta 52-0. Palmetto over Crescent 10-7. Abbeville leads Powdersville 7-0. Lawrence Manning over Heathwood Hall 13-0. Still showing a tie score in the first quarter between Lancaster and Indianland. That's got to be further along than a 7-7 ball game. Gaffney back out in front of JL Man 12-7. And I did have a score come across at halftime. Northwestern leads Ridgeview 14-13.
Oh, that's a class.
At the half.
That can neck this entire game. Yeah, 14-13. I'll update my scoreboard here. But yeah, I mean, it was 7-6 earlier, and it looks like special teams or, a 2-point conversion attempt, one of the two, has been the difference in this game so far. And I have a feeling that one, just because those teams are pretty evenly matched. And Northwestern, man, no lead is safe in any game that they play in. Based off what happened last week, that's going to be a really fun one to keep an eye on.
It is. Somerville leads South Florence 22-7, according to my scoreboard. RNE leads Crestwood 22-14. The Diamond Hornets of Lower Richland lead Spring Valley 20-0. And AC Flora, according to Lou Bejak's Twitter, at Lou at the State on X, a deep ball from Roper Winsky to Trip Van Vleek has answered Chapin's offense. No score on that play, but AC Flora trying to move the ball there. And with 1:42 to go in the first half, River Bluff leads Brooklyn Casey 21-7. And again, I want to make this point, Elijah, and I made it last year. Coach Sharpia at Brooklyn Casey loads that pre-region schedule with 5A ball clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Loads it.
Wise.
And he did that even as a 3A school. And what ends up happening is that team gets ramped up right and ready for region play. So I would say watch margin of loss or victory in the non-region schedule for BC. But I got a feeling that team's going to be ready to go for that region play coming up. Tough opponent tonight with River Bluff.
Well, certainly that's they're building for something. They started off a little slow last year, a little bit, and then next thing you know, you blink and they're the region champs, and they make a serious run in the postseason after that. I think Coach Sharpia knows he's been doing this long enough. Not his first rodeo at all. I think that man knows what he's doing when it comes to scheduling and getting his team ready for November. One score that has just come across my feed right now that I have to blink and double take just after the week they had last week with Lugoff Elgin having that thrilling victory to start the season. They're playing Camden right now, trailing 18-0, 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. And Camden coming off a season-opening loss against White Knoll. That's a team that, despite being 0-1, man, nothing to mess with. That Camden team lost a lot, but what they got coming back this year is still pretty serviceable.
I would imagine, though, that, and again, we're not there. That's the disappointing thing about not being at these games. We can't see them. Newsflash.
We can't be everywhere. As much as I'd like to be ubiquitous, I don't think that's a physical possibility.
Omnipresence isn't my gift.
No, not yet, at least.
But we might have a matchup problem there for Lugoff Elgin. Just knowing what Camden is. I don't know if there's really a size difference. It probably is a size difference, honestly, on the lines of scrimmage. And that goes to just the area of Camden and knowing what that program builds through their JV and B team ranks. So that might be a matchup problem for Lugoff Elgin. I don't know if it's a sign of concern down the stretch. A.J. Brand just hit Donovan Murph for a touchdown pass.
You seeing this video that I just saw?
Yeah, where, so he sends a man in motion, he bobbles the snap, throws it from the 48-yard line of his, and it lands around the 11?
Yeah, I'd say so. That's accurate.
Wow, that is a throw. And what a catch from Donovan Murph, too. He's a junior, but, man, if you're South Carolina, if you're Coach Beamer, you can't let him get out of the Columbia area.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this kid is one of those.
You can't.
His star is only going to rise. And last year, he made some plays. He made one catch in the game against River Bluff last year where he jumps. It's a jump ball in the end zone. And it's not like he doesn't have like a jump ball receiver build, but he leapt. So high in the air and made this contested catch, interfered with, pulled down as he's making the catch. It's kind of like a higher flying version of what we saw from Travis Hunter last night in the North Dakota State-Colorado game. Mm-hmm. But he is just so remarkably gifted as a receiver. And that pass from A.J. Brand, too, was just money. I mean, he rear backed and threw an absolute dart. I mean, those two have an incredible connection. And we are very fortunate to be able to even just get to see the clips that we do of those two building this chemistry, because these are two high-level Power 4 players.
They really are. A halftime score, thanks to our buddy Bill, who gives us a call for Greenwood. Greenwood leading Beaufort 7-6. That one at the half, down at Beaufort. So a long drive for those folks. Boiling Springs leads Malden 14-3. Boiling Springs leads Malden 28-6.
Oh wow!
With 4:38 to go in the second quarter. Looking for a few more scores here if I can find them, but it looks like that's it coming on my feed at this moment. Again, sometimes you end up relying more on Twitter than you do anything else. Chapin leads 14-7 over AC Flora. They are heading to the second quarter. Chester and Fort Mill game has been canceled. No rescheduled date has been announced. Canceled is going to be the more appropriate stretch for that one, because they're just not going to be able to get that game back in. So Chester and Fort Mill canceled tonight. Weather, that was a thunderstorm. Apparently it was raining so hard and hailing so hard you couldn't see the other side of the field. And thanks to Chris for this one, that Bamberg-Earhart-Buford game, Bamberg-Earhart leading 14-0, it's a lightning delay.
Ooh.
And having worked in baseball, those stink. That's 30 minutes from the last strike, and if you've got somebody in the booth who's not generous with that mileage, if there's one at 9.9, they'll count it. Others would say, that's fine. So 30 minutes from every lightning strike from here on out for Bamberg, Earhart, and Buford.
Oof. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get that game in. Safety is paramount.
Paramount. Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing about these non-raging games too. It's not the end of the world if you can't get them in. Obviously, you'd like to play the entire 10-game slate, but there's certainly some things that aren't in our control. We'll go ahead and take a quick break here. Get you an update from the Oklahoma Temple game. Yes, that's an SEC game now. Not an SEC between two teams, but Oklahoma's in the SEC now. They're playing Temple tonight, getting their season started. The Bravos are playing the Phillies, trying to play a little catch up. We'll get you some scores in that as well. Not just from high school football. We'll keep you updated for the entire sports world as you're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia. Highway 378 at I-20.
South Carolina weather can be a little crazy. Make sure your biggest investment is protected. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks, the Guttermen. They've been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 40 years. Call the Guttermen today at 791-7147. That's 791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the Guttermen.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know they've been the Midlands leader in home theater for the past 2 decades. From installation of amazing 4K televisions and surround sound systems to Wi-Fi that works everywhere, no one else compares to their customer service and quality. And now the guys at Integrated Media have expanded their brand to provide a state-of-the-art golf simulator experience next to their offices in Chapin. Pro Swing is what it's called. The golf simulators by Golf Zone have automatic tees. You don't have to bend over to set up your next shot. Amazing swing plate moving up to 24 different directions for a truly lifelike experience. The playing surface has simulated greenside and fairway bunkers, even 2 different cuts of rough to bring a real-life experience inside with 68 degrees of air conditioning every day. One golfer can play 18 holes in about an hour, 2 in 2. With selections of non-alcoholic drinks, domestic, and craft beer, it's fun for the entire family. To book a tee time or to get golf lesson packages, visit ProSwingColumbia.com or call 803-948-8327. Have a blast with Pro Swing and Integrated Media.
I'm here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder of First Palmetto Bank. Jacob, tell me more about this 4.99% 30-year fixed product you are offering in Richland County. We have a community reinvestment product in the areas of Richland County. Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas that we're offering the 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We are underserving these areas, so the bank is offering 100% purchase loans at 4.99% on a 30-year fixed. No points, no mortgage insurance, no gimmicks, just lower payments.
4.99% is awesome. What's a payment look like?
Yes, Bill. A payment on $200,000 at that APR is at $1,072 a month for 360 months. A payment on $300,000 is at $1,608. These estimates do not include taxes and insurance. These loans are only for primary residences, and the loan amounts are capped at $300,000. Call me today. My number is 803-719-1005, or you can email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
All loans are subject to credit approval and property appraisal. First Palmetto Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. My NMLS number is 198432.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
That's right. He's Justin Hall. I'm Elijah Campbell. Our man Ed Bird behind the glass, making sure we follow the rules of the radio and the Federal Communications Commission. So far, so good. We got some scores to get to you all around the state of South Carolina. And we'll get to going into the next hour. It's the final segment of this hour. Going into the next hour, we'll give you the absolute latest from everything right now. And just by, refreshing my computer, if I can spit it out, nothing else new to get to. Justin, I don't think if anything has popped up on your radar, but we do have some college football being played right now. Later tonight, Stanford and TCU. That one's going to be more interesting than people think. But there's an SEC football game being played tonight on a Friday as we speak.
Yeah, there is an SEC game. It has Oklahoma in it. And no, they're not playing South Carolina yet.
Not yet.
They're playing Temple. Oklahoma was a 42.5-point favorite. They nearly covered in the first half. They're up 34-0. at halftime, and I've got a little statistical analysis for you because I don't just like to give you scores sometimes. I like to give you the whole kit and caboodle.
I love the kit and the caboodle. Very good.
I tell you, Oklahoma wide receiver Deion Burks, number 50 on the Bruce Feldman Freaks list this year. Three touchdown catches in the first half of his first game. 5'9", 190. He can bench 400. That's right. He benches 2 times his weight.
Good Lord, man. That's what ants do. That is what ants do, is lift that much above what your weight is.
The picture that Bruce Feldman posted on Twitter, you got to go look at this, Elijah, when you get a chance. This kid is built. I mean, this is not like a freshman at all. And all the talk about Texas being the team to look out for in the SEC, I'm telling you, people are overlooking Oklahoma. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Oklahoma, too, that's so wild, man, is that their heavy reliance on a first-year starting quarterback in Jackson Arnold, and he didn't particularly look great in the Alamo Bowl against Arizona, which is really the only frame of reference that we have of him. But, I mean, they like him enough and are comfortable enough to let Dylan Gabriel, a guy who's going to be one of the favorites to win the bleeping Heisman, go off to Oregon and let, Jackson Arnold take the keys to the Ferrari here. So, I mean, it's pretty to hear that he's already got a favorite target with somebody who's also really young and they've connected 3 times for scores. I think, that's one thing that can make Oklahoma really dangerous if Jackson Arnold gets into a rhythm and is consistently finding one target to go to throughout the season.
Exactly. And again, it's just something to watch. We're in week 1. It's Temple, right? And Oklahoma should take care of business. So they were 42.5-point favorite over the Owls. But again, just a name to keep your eye on, Deion Burks. Wilson leads Gilbert. Here's a score for you, Elijah. Wilson leads Gilbert 18-14 at the half. Gilbert coming off of that tough loss to Lexington in that rivalry matchup. Dutch Fork and Spartanburg tied at 7 in the second quarter.
Okay, I think that's our first update for that one. And that's Spartanburg beat them last year, I believe. Yeah, and that was at Dutch Fork, and that was the congratulations, you got the Silver Foxes early award, and not before they reeled off all those wins after the White Knoll loss and end up winning yet another state championship. We have some more updates from around the state. Our man Roger calling in to give us the latest. Roger, what is up, my man?
Average score, Louisville 17, Hong Kong Tyler 8 halftime.
Wow, Louisville 17, Hunter Kiner Tyler, who had a very impressive win last week. Louisville up on them at 17-8. Thank you very much, Roger. And Roger, a proud Hunter Kiner Tyler alum. So good stuff. Appreciate your call as always, Roger. Does that score surprise you a little bit, Justin?
A little, but I'm a big HKT guy. So it's not stunned. I got another one for you. Gaffney up 19-10 on JL Man.
Wow, and they were trailing. JL Man got up 7-6 early, but 19-10 Gaffney, the number 2 team in the state. This is a top 10 5A matchup here, really. Right. I mean, if they were a little closer to home, we would have a little more of an emphasis on it. But, I mean, these are 2 teams that play a very physical brand of football over there in the upstate, and the fact that we have 29 combined points and we're not at halftime, I think might be a little bit of a surprise to some, but Gaffney doing a really good job of showing that why they are a top 2 team, I believe it is, in the state.
Exactly. And there are a few more here I want to get to. Blythewood, 20-7 halftime lead over Midland Valley. 20-7 there for the Blythewood Bengals. White Knoll, this is according to the Idaho. Well, this was a while back. Let me make sure I get the right look here on this score, but it could be right. White Knoll, this was a while back, converted a 4th and 5 with a 12-yard pass. Then they fumble on the next play. Their center scoops it up and carries it down to the 1. After another fumble, they slip it in for a score. White Knoll led at this point 33-13 over Sumter.
Ooh, 33-13. I mean,
that's insane.
You want to talk about building a program, man? Coach Nicholas Pelham, has built a program. They did not rebuild from all those losses on the defensive side of the year. It sounds like they do what programs do, and that is reload instead. We'll give you a full scoreboard update on the other side as we kick off hour number 3 of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
We are so excited. Sound and Images has upgraded to a phenomenal facility at 807 Bluff Road, right there across the street from our friends at the State Fair. We have new upgraded facilities, video conferencing room experience that will seat up to 35 people depending on configuration. We also have meeting space and venue space on property to offer our partners at Sound and Images. Please contact Sound and Images at soundandimages.net, your commercial AV installation and live event production specialists.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take 1.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin sliced honey.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia, Highway 378 at I-20.
You already know that Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union offers truly free checking and great rates on auto loans, but did you know they do mortgages too? Whether you need a first or second mortgage, a home equity line of credit, or a loan for construction, renovation, a lot, or a manufactured home, Palmetto Citizens has you covered. They're a community financial institution based solely here in the Midlands, so they offer a refreshingly simple mortgage process you won't get from the big banks or online lenders. Along with a great rate, the Palmetto Citizens Mortgage Team will work with you to tailor the loan to best fit your needs and budget. Apply for your mortgage today by visiting palmettocitizens.org or stopping by any of their 14 branches across the Midlands. Palmetto Citizens, proudly serving this community since 1936. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID number 449962. Approval based on credit worthiness. Certain restrictions may apply.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, the Labor Day sale. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
And now the sounds of football from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Enjoy the taste of football, too, with hand-tossed pies, hoagies, wings, meatballs, hot pretzels, and over 100 beers from around the world. Mellow Mushroom, in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
When people ask us who we are, we tell them we're problem solvers, opportunity creators, and change makers. We are Rotary. Around the world, our network of 1.4 million neighbors, friends, and leaders volunteer their skills and resources to solve issues and address community needs. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
In our democracy, your vote matters. It makes our community and country stronger. So make your voice heard. Get registered. Turn to your local TV and radio stations for trusted reporting on the candidates and issues. Visit vote411.org to learn what's on your ballot and make a plan to vote on or before November 5th. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
My daughter's Aspen. She has stage 4 neuroblastoma. St. Jude is like, it saved us. The financial help given here goes a long way. The research helps, not just here, it reaches the whole world. And St. Jude is a gift. I just want to say thank you.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
The home of the national champion Gamecocks women's basketball team. Congrats, y'all.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5. The Game.
That's right. It is halftime for us. It's halftime for a lot of games around the state right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall. Mr. Ed Bird behind the glass running the show. And as promised, it is time to give you a full scoreboard rundown going into the second half of these games here in the state. Starting off with our game of the night, shout out John Carlos for sending me the latest. Irmo scores a touchdown. They lead 21-7 on Burns right now. They're getting dangerously close to the half. Last touchdown scored by number 13, Evan Singletary. Other scores from around the state. Chapin up on AC Flora by a score of 14-7. River Bluff all over Brooklyn Casey 27-6. As of last reporting, Dutch Fork and Spartanburg are tied. This is the first game of the season for the defending 5A champions, the Dutch Fork Silver Foxes. Northwestern up on Ridgeview 14-13. We'll have the Northwestern play-by-play man on after that game goes final. Very excited to hear how that one is going. White Knoll and Sumter. White Knoll leading 33-16. One of the more surprising results of the night. Coach Nicholas Pelham, hopefully we can get him on after that game ends, but White Knoll all over Sumter at the moment. Lexington 3, North Augusta nothing. It's been a while since we've gotten an update from that game, so that one is definitely subject to change, but we still have that as the score as of now. At halftime, Keenan leads Pendleton 8-0. In one of the best games of the night, Somerville and South Florence. Somerville, the Green Wave, the Fighting Preston Thorns, if you will. They're up all over the Bruins 22-7. Eau Claire leading Bethune-Bowman 6-0. Dillon still up on Socastee 20-7. As of last reporting, Columbia up on Pillion 7-0. Northside Christian and Wilson Hall. That is the Watch 57 game of the week on Fox locally. What was a 9-0 lead for Northside Christian has been erased, and right before the half, Wilson Hall scored a touchdown to give them a 14-9 advantage. They're kicking off the second half as we speak. Camden up on Lugoff Elgin 18-0. Camden looking to avenge their Week 0 loss to the Timberwolves of White Knoll. Another top 10 game of the night. Number 2, Gaffney in 5A taking on top 10 JL Mann. Gaffney's up 19-10. Boiling Springs up all over the Fighting Kevin Garnett's of Malden. That is a 28-6 score as of last reporting. Gilbert, after suffering a tough season-opening loss to rival Lexington on the road, finds themselves in another predicament. They're down 18-14 to Wilson. Ben Lippen leads Trinity Collegiate 13-0. Oceanside up on Calvary Day by a score of 13-6. Newberry is having their way on the football field right now with Mid-Carolina. Mid-Carolina, who dropped their season opener to Swansea last week, finds themselves down 26-0, still trying to get on the scoreboard as Newberry leads. Our first final of the night, Richard Wynn 46, Newberry Academy 6. So congratulations to Richard Wynn being our first winners. Coincidence? I think not. Lower Richland leads Spring Valley by a score of 20-0. As of last reporting, Blythewood leads Midland Valley. They're looking to go into the second level of the game's undefeated club. Midland Valley still trying to bounce back after that pretty brutal season opening loss to JL Mann. Looking out for other scores here from around the state. Still a couple of zeros up on Score Stream, so we're still looking to get some reporting there for some of these. Crescent is up on Palmetto 14-10. Looks like they're in the third quarter. And a pretty rough game got a whole lot rougher for Dorman. They at the half. And I know I'm reading this correctly, Ed Bird. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed here, but I can read a little bit. What I'm reading, now whether or not I believe this is another thing, and whether or not you believe this when I say it, another thing. Grayson up on Dorman 53-0 at halftime.
My gosh.
I think we're going to have a little bit of a running clock there, Justin Hall. That's a pretty brutal outcome for the Dorman Cavaliers. Still tied at 7. Yeah, it's not looking good over there.
As you know, those are the two best words when you're dealing in high school football, whether you're reporting on it or whether you're PA.
Yes.
Two words that warm your soul. Running clock, especially because usually, I mean, you got to be up 40 or 30 at this point.
Yep.
I mean, eventually, you want to go home. And
exactly.
Dorman wants to go home right now.
I want them to go home for them.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Exactly.
That's
by the way,
really tough.
The half, Gaffney leads JL Man 19-10. And yes, I heard you mention we are looking forward to having Chris Miller join us after that Northwestern Ridgeview game is over. We'll recap that game. We'll look back to that Huff matchup as well. You might also know Chris because he does the network coverage for Gamecock football. So he's a busy man in the fall.
He is. And he's going to have to get up early and get at it again tomorrow before the season opener.
Nothing better, right? Halftime, Boiling Springs leads Malden 31-6. A lot of these games are getting to halftime at this point. How about this ball game between Carolina Forest and Hartsville? This game is tied at 27.
Oh, that could be our thriller of the night. That one of the many that's brewing.
Second half just getting underway for Carolina Forest. Jaron Fox has 180 yards of offense and 3 touchdowns.
That's a lot
in that ball game. So that is quite the offensive output from those two ball clubs, and I'm wondering if that game is in Hartsville or not. And I'm looking for a location on that. But again, another good one that should come down the stretch between those two clubs. Again, that's offense, but if you're looking for defense, Dixie leads Fox Creek 14-10.
Okay.
In that ball game, and Greenwood leads Beaufort 14-6. And BHP leads Greer 27-0. That one in the third quarter.
It looks like we also have Hannah Pamplico up on Waccamaw 26-20. Shout out to Roger. I don't know why my brain is a bowl of mashed potatoes this time of night. But Roger, shout out to Roger for calling in, giving us this update. Louisville up on Hunter Kynard Tyler by a score of 17-6. Swansea, hey, look. Don't call it a winning streak, but we're inching to it. They're in the second quarter right now. They're up 7-6 on Denmark Olar, a team that went winless. Goose egg in the win column last year. Started their season off with a win, and look, if they can hold on here, I know it's only in the second quarter, still a lot of football to be played, but one of the cooler stories in the state can be Swansea starting off 2-0, but they have a lead right now. Cross is up on North Charleston by a score of 42-6 at the half. Latta and Marion is currently in action in the second quarter. It looks like that one's a 7-6 lead for Latta. Lake City up on Timberland 22-12. Blackville Hilda all over Edisto 34-6. Marlboro County up on Cheraw 27-7. I hope I said that right. Maybe didn't. Fairfield Central leads Union County 33-6. Chapman, the Fighting Debo Samuels, have regained the lead against St. Joseph's Catholic. They're up 14-13. Thurmond, now this was my favorite score of the night because this was a baseball score. Not anymore. Strom Thurmond did the whole scoring points thing, and that one's now 16-0. That'd be a lot of runs in baseball.
It would be.
It absolutely would be. Columbia up on Pillion 22-8. Ware Shoals up on 96, 22-13. Myrtle Beach leads West Florence 22-14. That's at the half. And one of our favorite type of games, Justin Hall, an all-name bowl. Lucy G. Beckham up on Philip Simmons 21-0.
Love it.
Bluffton leads Andrew Jackson 21-6. Greenwood leading Beaufort 7-6. Richland Northeast up on Crestwood at the half, 22-14. Lancaster and Indian Land tied at 7. Update, Lugoff Elgin is on the board, but they still trail Camden 18-7. Walhalla leads Pickens 21-10. BHP up on Greer 20-0. Landrum leads Berea 19-6. Wren up on Easley 27-0. Clinton, if you will, up on the Fighting Dave Adaires of Lawrence by a score of 21-8. Woodruff leading Fountain Inn 20-10. Emerald shutting out Travelers Rest so far 21-0. May River continuing their reign of terror over teams here in the state. They're up 21-0 on West Ashley. Here's a score for you. Hanahan 7. Wando 2. Dose.
That's a good ball game.
Yeah, good football being played right there. South Lawrence just scored a touchdown. They cut into Somerville's lead 22-14 there at the half, it looks like. And Aner up on St. James 30-20. Dillon increases their lead on Socastee 20-7. And that is all for the scoreboard. We are much more accurate this week. The scores are coming in a lot better this week than they were last week.
Yeah, they are. A beautiful, according to Lou Bejak here, I'm quoting him because I didn't see it, beautiful throw in the corner of the end zone from Roper Winsky to Josh Davis. Flora, with 5:35 to go in the first half, has cut the lead. It's now 21-14. Chapin over AC Flora. A 3-yard touchdown run by Calvary Day. PAT is good, so they've tied Oceanside 13-13. And then Finley Polk, a 40-yard touchdown pass to Jaden Nichols for Northwestern, and the Trojans now lead 24-13 over the Blazers of Ridgeview in the second half. That one, according to our friend Chris, will be calling here a little bit later.
And separation there.
A little bit. Looking for a Lexington score here because I just saw an update from them. It looks like everything has stayed pat. Yeah, it's still 7-3 North Augusta over the Lexington Wildcats. And how about this one? That touchdown, one of the touchdown passes from Brady Albro, Elijah, is the 46th of his career. That is a new Chapin football school record.
Congratulations, Brady Albro. Hey, we love to celebrate milestones here, and I would say breaking your school record for touchdown passes is quite the milestone, especially when you do it in the second game of your senior season. That's Brady Albro's a name we're going to be saying a lot on this program throughout the season. Another name we say a lot.
Yeah, 2 scores that are outside of the high school footprint. Braves lead the Phillies 7-2. Joe Jimenez was able to escape danger, had 2 men on in the bottom of the 8th. So now the Phillies will send 7, 8, 9 to the plate in the bottom half with at least a 5-run deficit, if not more. And over at Stone Stadium, the Tigers have evened it up in that match. It is 2-2 with just over 12 minutes remaining in that ball.
So good. We were feeling so good about that. We might end up having a draw there. And I mean, hey, a draw is better than a loss, but especially when you're playing the number 1 team in the country. So we'll go ahead and head over to the phone lines. Looks like our man Cale Wilson has us an update for the Irmo game. Irmo taking on Burns tonight. Cale, what is the latest over there from the home of the Yellow Jackets?
What's up, guys? Calling you from WC Hawkins Stadium, as you said, the home of the Irmo Yellow Jackets. It's been a pretty good game. So I know I was updating you guys. The last time I had updated, Irmo had just missed a field goal, and Burns was driving down the field. They got held to a 4th and 9 from the 14-yard line, and Crane Rogers was able to complete a pass for a touchdown to Elijah Clark to put the Rebels on the board and cut the lead down to 7, cut the deficit down to 7. But then Irmo ran down the field on an amazing methodical drive and was able to score a touchdown to Ethan Singletary for a touchdown with 6 seconds remaining. And the Jackets lead 21-7. And the Jackets have been spreading the wealth. The first touchdown was by Malik Miller. The second touchdown was by Donovan Murph, and the third touchdown was by Ethan Singletary. So everyone has been making plays tonight for the Jackets.
A well-balanced offense.
Struggling.
A well-balanced offense, and it looks like the Yellow Jackets are getting some good separation over on Burns. Cale, thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing what you got whenever this game gets a little closer to crunch time. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff there from our man Cale. We'll go ahead and take one more call before we go to the break. And what we have on the phone screener here is a Coach Webster. So we love when current or former coaches of any kind call into the show. Coach Webster, thanks. Welcome to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show.
Yes, sir. We got Jefferson Davis Academy beating GSIC, the Georgia Institute of School Classical, however you say their name. we beat them 28 to 26 tonight. Had a hell of a game, hell of a comeback. We're down 26 to 14. We beat them 28 to
Wow. I definitely saw that score earlier, and saw that they were down. So they end up pulling out, coming back and pulling out the win, huh?
Yes, sir. We came up. Our defense showed up in the second half, and it was a good game.
It sounds like. Do you have any individual players to shout out from the game? You're our eyes and ears over at that game, sir. So if there's any players you'd love to shout out, we'd love to hear those names here.
Colton Lowholt and Nas Boy, they really showed out. All of our teams really showed out. I mean, our DBs played a hell of a game in the second half. We had Brian Mahana show out as well. And everybody the whole entire team, really. We're a hell of a team. We're defending state champs as of right now, and we just got to keep growing as a team and hopefully get that 2-peat in.
Yes, sir. And, Coach, you did what champions do, and that is not give up whenever you go down early in the game. It is not over until that final whistle. Congrats on the win tonight, and we appreciate you calling in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good stuff from Coach Webster there over at Jefferson Davis. We'll go ahead and take a quick break right here. We'll get you some more scores. Hold on. We have Roger and Gamecock Larry on the line. Gamecock Larry's beloved Brooklyn Casey Bearcats are in action against River Bluff tonight. We'll give you that scoreboard update and a whole lot more as the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show rolls in the calls and rolls back right after this.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia. Highway 378 at I-20.
Have you had a broken windshield compliments of those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way, the big national guy. But remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Back for a limited time only, it's Firehouse Subs Barbecue Cuban Sub featuring slow smoked pulled pork, honey ham, melted Swiss, golden mustard barbecue sauce, chipotle slaw, and spicy pickle chips, all on a toasted sub roll. It's Southern roots with a Cuban twist. Try the Barbecue Cuban Sub at Firehouse Subs today. They make their subs differently because their subs can make a difference every day. At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide much needed life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
We are so excited. Sound and Images has upgraded to a phenomenal facility at 807 Bluff Road, right there across the street from our friends at the State Fair. We have new upgraded facilities, video conferencing room experience that will seat up to 35 people depending on configuration. We also have meeting space and venue space on property to offer our partners at Sound and Images. Please contact Sound and Images at soundandimages.net, your commercial AV installation and live event production specialists.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
That's right. Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall, Ed Bird, and Master Control running the show for us tonight. We'll go ahead, as promised, and get back to the phone lines. We'll go ahead and start with our man Gamecock Larry. He's been patiently waiting. He is a beloved supporter of his alma mater, the Brooklyn Casey Bearcats. Gamecock Larry, good to hear from you, sir.
I'm doing just fine. Let me tell you, I'm only gonna be able to predict two teams this year because my health is well, it's okay now. But let me tell you. Tomorrow, the Gamecocks, 44, Old Dominion, 17.
44-17. Okay.
44-17 Gamecocks. Now the Clemson Tigers and the Bulldogs. I don't like either one of them. I wish both of them could lose, but they can't. So I'm going to say Clemson 24, Bulldogs 41. That's my prediction, and I'm going to stick to it. Love all y'all. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Go Gamecocks.
Go Gamecocks. Gamecock Larry bringing the heat as always, and he gave us 2 predictions.
Yeah. I
for
thought
the
he was
price
going
of
to pick
one.
the Clemson Tigers to win there at first. He gave their score first, and I built the suspense there.
I felt surprised.
I leaned in. Gamecock Larry got me to lean in there. That's impressive stuff.
Hey, that's radio trickery, is to give you an M. Night Shyamalan-esque twist at the end to make you think he's going to pick one thing and then bail out and then pick something else. That's how he knows
good radio.
He can keep you on the edge of your seat. We'll go ahead and go back to the phone lines. Our man Roger calling in. He gave us a Louisville Hunter Kiner Tyler. I cannot say that fast.
Just say
all.
HKT.
HKT. Yeah, you know me.
There you go.
We'll go ahead and get to Roger on the line. Roger, what you got for us, good sir?
Yeah, score, Auburn Prep 25, Jefferson Davis 8 in the third quarter.
All right. Thank you very much, Roger. Appreciate your update, good sir. Some more scores coming in from Roger. But anything, in the last couple minutes, I guess the last couple segments, we've been having all these scores flooding in, and we are drinking high school football information through a fire hose, it feels like right now. But any main takeaways that you've been able to get so far, Justin?
Well, what I'm looking at here is Lexington is pulling in with North Augusta. Game getting close there. Lexington has scored a touchdown in that ball game. So according to my math, that would put them ahead there at least 9-7, but we'll check that math.
Thomas Grant did tweet 2 minutes ago that the extra point is good. It was a Matthew McCauley 8-yard touchdown run. So, 8:14 left in the third quarter. Lexington up on North Augusta 10-7.
And then Chapin, Coleon Martin. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right because that is an amazing name.
That is. Don Coleon.
Touchdown number 2. Chapin now up 28-14 as they try to stretch that out again over the AC Flora Falcons. Got another score, I believe, coming in here. Touchdown for Greenwood. Greenwood leads Beaufort 14-12. That one was 6:25 to go in the third quarter. Appreciate Bill for tweeting that one out, and obviously it's readily available for the folks at home. By the way, Elijah, you will have a co-host next week for the entire week. Jay is going to be fine. The Braves win 7-2.
Woo!
Is
he back on the bandwagon yet? Is he back on? He quit him. He quit him last night, and he was adamant about quitting him today. But I made the joke that he is like my sweet grandmother and her cigarettes. So she would tell you she quits all the time. But, buddy, those would stare at her like the Green Goblin mask, and she was not going to say no for long.
Well, and to the point about Major League Baseball, the Brewers have just put up 10 runs in the ninth inning. They lead somebody's Cincinnati Reds. I believe
I wonder who that is.
14-0.
I wonder what tortured soul loves them.
I don't know.
Could be me. I care about myself.
That's fair. Update from Stone Stadium. Close shots for Clemson. Nothing going right now. Score is still tied at 2 on the pitch there over at Stone Stadium, and just trying to refresh this high school scoreboard to get another look at some different games. But now Twitter and my scoreboard are starting to fall apart here in the 9 o'clock hour, which is just really, really important that we do that right now. Dreer leads Cardinal Newman 26-0. I don't know if you saw this, but at the start of the second half, Cardinal Newman kicked an onside kick to start the half.
Yes.
Sean Payton.
Yes, holy
recovered.
Sean Payton, Batman.
And recovered. So pretty impressive stuff there. By the way, a flash flood warning has been issued for York County. That's the reason why that Fort Mill game got canned tonight. And I've seen pictures of the field. And to quote the classic film Caddyshack, the hard stuff's not due to come down for a while now. So we'll keep it going. Grayson still leading over Dorman. Shockingly enough, it was 53-0 at the half. No update since then. That running clock, they should get out of there relatively soon, in fact, and probably with no more scoring either.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be a little bit of mercy
hopefully
bestowed upon Dorman. That's a program that with a lot of resources, a lot of success. Had a down year last year, and tonight it's not probably indicative of a ton of success later on. Granted, it's still week 1 or the second week of the year. Mm-hmm. You're playing a really good out of state opponent. It's mostly just like a measuring stick game to see where you're at right now, because the ones that count the most are the region games. We get that, but a real tough sledding for Dorman here in this last year and 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is. It is. Another score for you here. HKT trails Louisville 24-8. Play has been suspended between Carolina Forest and Hartsville. They are tied at 27. Just getting started in the fourth quarter of that ball game. Lexington, of course, we mentioned that they're up 10-7 over North Augusta, as I try to remember who they're playing off the top of my head. Dutch Fork leads Spartanburg 14-7 at the halftime break. Again, they should be getting started in the second half shortly. And AC Flora trying to make a move on Chapin here, getting up around midfield. They're a 2-touchdown deficit right now, trying to fight their way back into that ball game. Oceanside Collegiate and Calvary Day at Johnson Haygood Stadium going to the fourth quarter. They're tied at 13.
Ooh, I know, 10:50 going in the third quarter. We have another Irmo Yellow Jacket touchdown, another AJ Brand passing score, and that gives Irmo a 28-7 lead. That's been our game of the night. Our man Cale Wilson's been doing a fantastic job of keeping us abreast of the action. I got to give another shout out to my man John Carlos, who's been giving me some texts throughout the night as well to fill in the gaps between Cale calls. But that was the game of the night, and we looked at that with intrigue because of Burns' history, their prowess, their very interesting predicament of not being able to play a single home game all season long. They had a real tough loss to a great TL Hanna team on the road. They, almost in a masochistic way, go and play Irmo on the road in week 2. But, look, they hung in there for the first half. They were able to get some stops, but ultimately, AJ Brand, it sounds like he's clicking on all cylinders right now. And this Irmo team, as good as Burns is, and as tough as they are with the task ahead of them, it just sounds like the Yellow Jackets, man, now that they're up 3 scores, are just too much.
I agree with that. I think that game, the hay might very well be in the barn for that one. We shall see, though.
Love Barnes.
That's true. Calvary Day just got a safety as Oceanside quarterback Aiden Manavian is tackled in the end zone for a safety, waiting on that pronunciation check.
I believe
Calvary Day leads Oceanside Collegiate 15-13.
If Oceanside Collegiate drops another one, man, it would go from bad to worse for your defending 2A state champs. For those who didn't hear it in the first hour of the show, Oceanside Collegiate's head coach resigned after their week 0 loss on the road to Irmo. And in doing so, addressed kind of the timeline and the timing of the resignation. But Oceanside Collegiate going in after losing the first game and their head coach before even getting to week 1. And now it looks like they've got all they can handle with Calvary Day here so far.
21-12 now. Greenwood scoring a touchdown, 3:04 to go in the third quarter. Thank you to Bill for tagging me in that one on X. 21-12, Greenwood leading there again. We are ticking toward the 10 o'clock hour here shortly. As these games wrap up, we are hopeful to hear from several coaches tonight, including Coach Dustin Curtis, Lexington High School, currently the Wildcats leading in their ball game. White Knolls head coach, Coach Nick Pelham, should be hearing from him as well tonight if that game wraps up in a timely manner. We shall see there. Blair Hardin, River Bluff head coach, that game is going their way as well. Could be hearing from him sooner than we think. And then, of course, Chris Miller, the play-by-play voice for the Northwestern Trojans and the studio voice for the network coverage for Gamecock football. He does both of them, and he'll be joining us once that game is over. Northwestern in a good spot against Ridgeview. So again, a lot of folks that were hopeful will call in tonight. And I got an update here from my buddy Joe Pollock. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Ben Lippen leads 20-0 over Trinity Collegiate. I don't think I'd seen a score yet for Ben Lippen, the Falcons there. So Ben Lippen 20-0 with 5:30 left to go in the fourth quarter. Thank you to Joe for that one.
Yeah, shout out Ben Lippin taking care of business on a week one afternoon. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll round up some more scores. They are coming in furiously. A couple games coming down to the wire. And one team that is playing on TV on Watch Fox 57 is starting to pull away a little bit after getting an early deficit in the first half. We'll tell you who that is and a whole lot more as you're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for my good friends at Integrated Media, Columbia's leader in today's technology for your home and business. They've got TVs from Sony and Samsung, surround sound systems from Dolby, Sonos wireless speakers, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, even cameras to see what's going on around your home. They've got you covered. Call Integrated Media at 803-948-8327. Set up a time for them to come out to your house and talk with you about your wants and your needs. You want to cut the cord? They can help. Want one of those beautiful Samsung frame TVs that looks like art when it's not turned on? They do that too. Plus fantastic outdoor systems that let you enjoy your favorite team, movie, TV show, or music while you also enjoy our beautiful South Carolina weather. You can even stop in and see them at the Experience Center, 105 Snapdragon Court and Chapin, and get a real idea of what these things look like in your home. Do what I've done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Call 803-948-8327 and get home theater like never before from Integrated Media.
Back for a limited time only, it's Firehouse Subs Barbecue Cuban Sub featuring slow-smoked pulled pork, honey ham, melted Swiss, golden mustard barbecue sauce, chipotle slaw, and spicy pickle chips, all on a toasted sub roll. It's Southern roots with a Cuban twist. Try the Barbecue Cuban Sub at Firehouse Subs today. They make their subs differently because their subs can make a difference every day. At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide much-needed life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
That's right. Week one, still humming along here. We're getting close to what Scott Hansen would call the witching hour on Red Zone for those who frequent it. I almost called him Chris Hansen. I had to really stop myself.
Why don't you take a seat?
Take a seat right here. How about you sit here? That was two different journalistic Hansens. But no, Scott Hansen would refer to this as the witching hour. We're in the fourth quarter of a lot of games here. And for those who are not in front of a TV right now, watch Fox 57's game of the week is Northside Christian at Wilson Hall. Northside Christian hopped out to a 9-0 lead. They even did the Sean Payton special and had a surprise onside kick after scoring their first touchdown of the game, but got up to a 2-score lead. Wilson Hall has since scored at 21 unanswered. We are well into the fourth quarter of that game, and it looks like Wilson Hall is in complete control of that one.
It does look that way. I got a couple of scores here for you that I got off the break, or while we were at a break, off of Twitter, I should say. So we'll look at a few of these. Greenwood has scored safety 23-12 now for the Greenwood Eagles. They are solidly in place here. There was a punt that traveled 18 yards. I'm looking for who that was. It was not a bona fide special teams special, if you will.
Does not sound like it. No, Pete Lembo would not approve.
No, it is not. By the way, final score from Stone Stadium, South Carolina and Clemson end in a tie. It's the second tie in the series in school history. And That's the first good result for the Gamecocks since a win in 2014. So again, a tie there, 2-2, the final score there. Going to the fourth quarter at Ridgeview, Northwestern leading that one 38-20 at the end of three quarters. Broome over Chesney, 20-6. That ball game, 8:37 left to go in the third. And you mentioned that Wilson Hall Northside Christian game starting to get a little out of hand, and they're looking to stretch that one. Fox Creek leads Dixie 17-14.
So you said Northwestern was up on Ridgeview 38-20, kind of adjusting my sheet here as well. Yeah, Northwestern, I'm really excited to talk to Chris about this Northwestern team. I thought they had one of the most fascinating week zeros last week, not just because they challenged themselves against an out-of-state opponent, especially an out-of-state opponent that is as good as Huff is in North Carolina, but erasing a 22-point deficit in the final quarter. I am fascinated to hear about that game alone. And then coming out for your first game against a South Carolina opponent this week against a really good Ridgeview team that's impressed the both of us, that I feel, I know is for you, one of the sleepers to go really far in the postseason, but to be able to take it to them 38-20 at this juncture of the game is yet another statement for that Northwestern team.
It really is. Brooklyn Casey has scored on a fourth down pass. River Bluff's still up there in that one, 27-14. They should be in the fourth quarter by now. Roper Winsky finds Javare Dubose for the touchdown. AC Flora back in that ball game heading into halftime. Chapin leading 28-21.
Wow. That's going to be a back and forth game. I know Chapin did a good job of kind of compounding on that first score and getting them a two-score lead early in the game, and they're kind of just maintaining right now as AC Flores chipping away as much as they can. They've chipped away to where it's now back down to a one-possession game. I mean, we kind of hypothesized early in the show, given how good both of these quarterbacks are and maybe some of AC Flores' struggles on defense last year, that the busiest person in the stadium is going to be the scoreboard operator.
Oh, true. Have you seen the latest touchdown pass from A.J. Brand?
I have not, but I am going to be feverishly looking for it now, because anytime I hear, oh, hey, have you seen this A.J. Brand play, I am ready to watch something amazing.
He, the wide receiver's wide open, so I'm not, those are sometimes the hardest to hit. The way he delivers the football out of the shotgun, rolls to his right off of play action, and launches it across his body from his own 48, and that ball lands around the 11-yard line on a dime.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. A.J. Brand, man, and in terms of getting hard scouting reports, and I know a lot about A.J. because I covered him pretty closely whenever I was the sports editor at the Lexington County Chronicle, and watching him in person and watching the way that even as a high schooler he can throw off his back foot, which with such strength and accuracy. Like, yeah, I mean, this play is perfectly schemed open. And, receiver streaking down the sideline. It looked like on a wheel route, potentially, and not a soul in sight to be in coverage. But to watch A.J. Brand with his build roll out to his right, and it looks almost effortless the way he throws off that back foot and just throws a dart, hits him right in the numbers, is really impressive. And look, I know Virginia Tech hadn't been a powerhouse as of late. They were certainly what they were in the late 90s and early 2000s during the prime Frank Beamer years. But I think, Brent Pry's got a good thing going on there right now. I think Virginia Tech is going to be awesome this year. That's kind of my dark horse to make the college football playoff, because I would not be surprised one bit if they win the Atlantic Coast Conference and get one of those top 4 seeds because of that. And the fact that, they got Kyron Drones right now. By the time A.J. Brand gets out of here, he could potentially be the next in line to be the quarterback at Virginia Tech. And if you watch A.J. Brand play at Irmo, and you watch Kyron Drones at Virginia Tech, maybe different body builds, but similar type players. And I think he could fit seamlessly in that program.
No question about that. A 43-yard field goal for J.L. Mann trims the lead for Gaffney. Gaffney leads 19-13 with 7:38 to go in the third quarter. The Columbia Capitals have a 29-8 lead over Pillion right now. So a good ball game going for the Caps over in Columbia.
They can get themselves to the second floor of that undefeated club. Look at the Caps. Great start. Yeah, good start for the Caps, man.
White Knoll and Sumter. Have you seen the latest score for this ball game? This game has gotten tight, snug.
No way.
Snug.
Because my last note is 33-13.
It is 33-26. right now with 9:35 to go in the ball game.
Oh, it's not over till it's over. Sumter making sure they sweat this one out.
The Gamecocks of Sumter. Again, that's another one of those. You got Burns from the upstate. You got Sumter from just outside the Midlands reach, but I always count them. They're a tough out. The Lower Richland Diamond Hornets lead Spring Valley 35-7. That one's going to the fourth quarter. Crestwood leads R&E 29-22. Heading to the fourth quarter. That's right. They scored at the end of the quarter.
R&E, a team to watch this year. If you're in the Midlands and you're looking for a team to latch onto and you want some excitement, but you don't want to bandwagon a team that is just an absolute wagon like a Dutch Fork or an Irmo, R&E, because of Will Wilson, is really fun. That was one of my helmet sticker players last week, and the guy is going to be playing at NC State next season, and they're still in it. I don't know how much time's left. I don't know if you were able to see how much time's left, but don't count them out. This could be, if they're able to pull off that comeback win, that's a pretty good notch underneath the belt of one Will Wilson.
It would if they can pull it out. And again, Will Wilson has been a central figure in that turnaround for R&E, and that's a great story. R&E is right now in South Carolina high school football since last season. But Crestwood's a tough out. There's no question about that. Crestwood's a good football team, one of the better football teams in the Midlands area-ish. So if he can engineer the comeback now, they were leading early. If he can engineer that comeback, that does say something good about where R&E is heading into week number 2. Going to the fourth quarter over in North Augusta, Lexington leads North Augusta 13-7. Again, I want to note North Augusta punching above their weight class, a 4A team hosting the 5A Lexington Wildcats, coming off of a big win. So it's 13-7. Lexington leads going to the fourth.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, Lexington coming off that big win against Gilbert. They're creeping right outside the top 10 in 5A. And Lexington was kind of like this last year, right? They had some high expectations, a senior-laden group, got some big wins early, and were flirting with cracking the top 10, got inside the top 10 for a little bit of the year, and maybe just didn't have the finish to their season that they would like. But if Coach Curtis, they can squeeze out this win against North Augusta and survive it, you're going to be more than happy with a 2-0 start, especially against, Gilbert and North Augusta, even though the road's going to get a lot tougher after this.
It will. No question about that. Again, for Lexington, you're stacking chips at this point, trying to get your team better, but also have some wins under your belt before you get to that region. Because as we've talked about multiple times in this show tonight and then over the course of the last 2 years, that region's difficult. And so you're going to want to stack wins, even if they don't count toward your playoff positioning. You want to at least build momentum heading into that stretch of 4 to 5 games, depending, in late September, October, for your football team.
Yeah, and because that region, man, it's just an absolute wagon and one to be reckoned with. I'm going to go ahead and crowdsource something here. If anybody listening to this has any extra intel on Swansea and Denmark Olar, please hit us up. It could be at 1075 The Game on Twitter. It could be at Justin B. Hall on Twitter. It could be at E_Campbell3 on Twitter, at Twitterless Ed Bird on Twitter. Just kidding, it doesn't exist. I made that up. Or hit us up 803-404-6100. Comment on the YouTube video. I am thirsting for a score update because the Swansea Tigers have I have a soft spot in my heart for them right now. A team that went 0-10 last year, have just taken some serious lumps in that program the last couple of years. Started their season off with a win against Mid-Carolina, snapped that big losing streak, and the last we know of what they've been doing tonight is a 7-6 lead against Denmark Olar in the second quarter. It would be a remarkable story to see the Tigers of Swansea be able to start their season off 2-0 based off everything that has happened last season.
And again, the storylines are rich. For this early in the season, Elijah, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I believe the storylines across these different teams, Swansea being one of them, there are plenty right now in the Midlands and across the state. Swansea is one of them, very much in the R&E situation from last year where they're winning ball games when they aren't used to winning ball games. And we'll see how much they hold on to that as the season goes on. But right now, they're putting themselves in prime position to have people noticing their performance each week. It's it's impressive what they're able to do right now, given the fact they had such a down year last year. And again, the same with Lexington. No matter what your situation is for your team, it's all about stacking wins at this point, trying to gain momentum as you head into mid to late September and start inching toward region play. You want to have your team in the right frame of mind, knowing that, hey, we're good enough to go get wins in this region. We can go get wins here.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. We're about to wrap up. In the next segment, we will be wrapping up hour number 3 of the show tonight. We'll give you some more scores from around the state, and we'll also maybe give you a little bit of preview of the game tomorrow because, look, it's the night before Gamecock football, and a lot of us are going to have a hard time sleeping because kickoff is tomorrow, a smidge after 4 o'clock at Williams-Brice. We got college football to talk to tomorrow. So while we wait for the witching hour to produce some final scores and some dramatic scores and some more score updates, we'll give you a little bit of college football talk as well as we wrap up hour number 3 of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips and Grayson Griner here for our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson, now that you and the family have settled into life after years in the bigs, I hear you've added to what Integrated Media had already done around the house. Tell us what makes your system so much fun to use.
Yeah, Jay, Integrated Media has taken care of us from day one. Everything they do looks fantastic, everything they do sounds fantastic, and everything runs seamlessly when it comes to our smart home. In today's day and age of streaming everything, having a strong Wi-Fi connection throughout the house is critical, and Integrated Media is the best in the business at setting you and your family up with everything you could ever need.
Now, I don't know about you, but having an outdoor system that looks and sounds like the indoors is better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in the Midlands of South Carolina is enjoying time outdoors virtually year-round. From weatherproof mounted televisions to outdoor speaker systems, Integrated Media is the standard when it comes to outdoor entertainment. They're the only people I would ever recommend when it comes to outfitting your smart home indoors or out.
Work with the best in the business, and that's our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson and I can't recommend them highly enough. See their work on Facebook and Instagram, then call them up at 803-948-8327 and get Integrated Media into your home today.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
Kickoff is tomorrow.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
You heard Chris Logan in one of those commercials say we are a day away from kickoff. We are well less than 24 hours. I'm not going to do the math of how many hours we are away right now because I guarantee that the attempt would not produce accurate results. What was it?
18 and a half.
18 and a half. But who's
That's
counting?
So 4:15 kick. So it'd be 24 hours would have been at 4:15. So count back. I think I'm right on that. I think it's 18 and a half. Don't trust math.
I think so too. Live math on the radio. It is a dangerous game and one that I don't play particularly well. But one game that we do play particularly well on this program is getting some score updates. We'll go ahead and hit up our man, Cale Wilson, who is on the line with us right now at our game of the week for Irmo and James Burns. So, Cale, what is the latest, good sir? We went in last knowledge at Irmo leading 28-7. We saw a video of the A.J. Brand dart to give them a 3-score lead. What's the latest from there?
Hey, guys. So Burns took over at their own 15 after that drive and went on an 85-yard drive to stay in this game with a pass to Tawan Dawkins to cut the lead down to 15, but they missed the extra point, and Irmo is now on Burns' 15-yard line in position in the red zone trying to put this game away. With 12 minutes left, the fourth quarter is about to start. Irmo leads 28-13.
And we mentioned earlier in the game, when you first called, I think it was your first update, Irmo was struggling a little bit offensively to move the ball on Burns. Burns came out playing really well defensively, but since then, they've been able to tack on 3 touchdowns. We've seen some videos just, scrolling around through here on Twitter of some of the throws and plays that A.J. Brand has made. But what's Irmo been doing really well in your eyes to be able to produce some of these offensive results that maybe they weren't getting on the first couple drives?
One of the things that they've been doing that I've really noticed. Hold on a second. A.J. Brand. Oh, my goodness. A.J. Brand. Okay. Sorry. There was a play going on. I thought he was about to score.
He does that. He does that a lot. He's really good at the whole scoring the football thing.
He really is. He's been given this defense nightmares. I know I said they've been doing a good job containing him earlier, but he hasn't scored any rushing touchdowns, but he's put together a couple 15 or 20-yard runs, so he's definitely been giving this Burns defense fits. But honestly, I would say the thing that they're really doing is and it's funny because Burns' defense knows this is coming, but they're still getting the ball to Donovan Murph. I mean, they had a 3rd down and 10, and Burns, they weren't moving the ball, and they ran a comeback route. Donovan Murph ran a comeback route for about 12 yards. It was complete. High-pointed it. It was above the Burns defender. He couldn't get up there to reach it with Murph, and that kind of sums up what's been going on all game. They've been screen passing it to Murph. They've been doing high-point passes. But Malik Miller has had 2 touchdowns tonight. I don't want to take away the spotlight from him. He's been doing amazing tonight.
Certainly. And before we let you go, Cale, where can people find some of your work? You do some fantastic work on Instagram as well, covering these games and going above and beyond. But for those who want to continue keeping up with this game, how can they do that on Instagram?
I thank you so much for asking. If you guys want to go on Instagram and follow Savage College Football, the Instagram handle is Savage College FB. I live stream a high school game every Friday night. And if you are as big of a football fan as I am, and you're ready for college football,
you're our guy. Oh, he's our guy.
He's our guy.
I think we lost him.
I think we did.
Lost him for a second.
You can't.
Is that him back on the line right there? Maybe.
You can't lose Cale, though, if you're streaming on Instagram.
That's right.
You can't lose him if you're watching the game already.
That's right. I think we got him back. The Radio Ferry has brought Cale back to us. So, yes, Cale, I'm going to finish that thought. Yes, absolutely. We lost you as if you're getting ready for college football, which we are, and then the Radio Ferry zapped you for a second, and I am on the edge of my seat. So we'll let you finish that thought.
Okay. If you're ready for college football like I am, there's no better way to get ready for a college football Saturday than a high school football Friday. So why don't you guys come and join our live stream, come and watch us and listen to the 107.5 The Game High School Scoreboard Show and watch a high school game live stream. Nothing better than that on a Friday night to get ready for a college football Saturday.
Yes, sir. 10 out of 10. No notes. Great stuff. Cale Wilson. Cale, thank you for joining us, brother. We're looking forward to hearing your final report once that one hits all zeros on the clock. So good stuff there from Cale.
He needed to finish that because that was a spectacular plug. It was well done. If that wasn't a reader, if he wasn't actually reading that, that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's off the cuff.
It is. Broome leads Chesney 26-13, 1:40 to go in the third quarter. Final score, Northside Christian falls to Wilson Hall 28-9. Camden has just scored. It's 25-13. Camden over Lugolf Elgin, that one in the third quarter as well. And my scoreboard just refreshed, so I'm having to scroll.
What was that score again for Camden Lugolf Elgin? I need to update.
25-13. Camden out in front.
To 13.
And then I had another one here for you. Lexington leads North Augusta 20-13. That one in the fourth quarter there.
We're getting some scores here. We're getting some scoring in that game. That one's been kind of a low-scoring rock fight. So that one, again, was 20-13, Lexington?
Correct. That was 20-13.
fighting off North Augusta. They're not going away, man.
Lawrence Manning, the Swamp Cats, lead Heathwood Hall. The Highlanders trail in that one, 27-21. Lawrence Manning out in front. 42-yard touchdown pass from Finley Polk to Jaden Nichols. And Northwestern leads 45-27 over the Ridgeview Blazers. That one's in the fourth quarter. Got a hit from Chris here on Twitter. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. 2 scores for you, both of them finals. Blackville Hilda 41, Edisto 6, and Bamberg Earhart beats Buford 14-0. That game was called because of weather. So that game is over. 14-0. Bamberg Earhart wins. And a final score from Skiza. Ben Lippen defeats Trinity Collegiate 20-0. Thanks to Joe on Twitter for getting me that one as well. So we appreciate that. If you have scores that you want to relay, but you don't want to call in at 803-404-6100, but you want to let us know, you can hit me on Twitter at Justin B. Hall. You can hit Elijah at E_Campbell3, the number 3, so you can find him on Twitter as well.
Yes, sir. Tevin Brown on our YouTube stream comments, because we are streaming this now. We are video streaming for the first time. We are streaming the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. So shout out to Tevin Brown for this update right here. It said North Central and McBee canceled due to weather, will not be made up. So appreciate the assistance right there. And as always, a big friend of the show, Roger, calls in right now. Roger, what is the latest from your neck of the woods, sir?
I got a 2-game score. Swansea 28, Delmar Order 6 in the fourth. Auburn Prep 32, Jefferson Davis 8 in the fourth.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Roger. Roger's been listening to us. Roger could hear my pleas, my cries and pleas for a score in that Swansea-Denmark Olar game. A team that I have fallen in love with, that I am bandwagoning right here. I am starting up the train. The Swansea Tigers went 0-10 last year, up 28-6 on Denmark Olar. And if they hold on, they will be 2-0. One of the best stories in the state so far in these early weeks of the season. We got to hit a break, but when we come back, we have a full scoreboard update for you as games are going final right here on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show on The Game.
You haven't tasted real Carolina barbecue until you've experienced Little Pig's Barbecue. Full-service dine-in buffet with barbecue, ribs, brisket, chicken, rice, hash, tomato pie, macaroni and cheese, and many more of your favorites. Eat in or take out. Little Pig's Barbecue on Alpine Road will be open on Labor Day from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., serving all your favorites. Bring the family and friends for this Labor Day feast. Little Pig's Barbecue on Alpine Road, open on Labor Day from 11 to 6. Little Pig's family looks forward to serving you.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call
800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips and Grayson Griner here for our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson, now that you and the family have settled into life after years in the bigs, I hear you've added to what Integrated Media had already done around the house. Tell us what makes your system so much fun to use.
Yeah, Jay, Integrated Media has taken care of us from day one. Everything they do looks fantastic, everything they do sounds fantastic, and everything runs seamlessly when it comes to our smart home. In today's day and age of streaming everything, having a strong Wi-Fi connection throughout the house is critical, and Integrated Media is the best in the business at setting you and your family up with everything you could ever need.
Now, I don't know about you, but having an outdoor system that looks and sounds like the indoors is better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in the Midlands of South Carolina is enjoying time outdoors virtually year-round. From weatherproof mounted televisions to outdoor speaker systems, Integrated Media is the standard when it comes to outdoor entertainment. They're the only people I would ever recommend when it comes to outfitting your smart home indoors or out.
Work with the best in the business, and that's our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson and I can't recommend them highly enough. See their work on Facebook and Instagram, then call them up at 803-948-8327 and get Integrated Media into your home today. Hey guys, Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Not feeling like yourself as you get a little older? You're wondering why? Don't wait for it to change or go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Bognight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You'll have a one-on-one consultation that will get to the root of the issue and get you back to feeling like you used to. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all treatment at the Men's Clinic. Get a free consultation. Schedule one at 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5. The Game.
That's right. Final hour of the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show starts right now. We are getting finals coming in from all over the great state of South Carolina, and we are going to roll through those right now. Mr. Ed Bird, please, we'll go ahead and get my theme music going. Oh, yeah. We'll go ahead and start off with the game of the night. It was Irmo and Burns, and it is all Yellow Jackets in the second half. And actually, as I say that, Burns scores a touchdown. So the latest score in the fourth quarter, Irmo 35, Burns 19. Chapin up on AC Flora 28-21. As of last reporting, River Bluff up on Brooklyn Casey 27-14. The Fighting Gamecock Larrys might be starting their season off 0-1. As of last reporting, Dutch Fork 14, Spartanburg 7. Justin Hall, do we have another score for that? It's been a hot minute.
I don't. It's still 14-7 for me. I don't have anything else on that one.
I also don't have anything for Gray Collegiate in Baylor. Nothing for that one.
I do. Let me go back and find it. I'll give you the most recent thing. But continue on with your wonderful music, yes, and I'll get that for you.
We shall continue. We do have a final. Northwestern 45, Ridgeview 27. Chris Miller is going to be calling in just a little bit as soon as he can, as soon as he wraps up his radio duties there, to talk about Northwestern elevating to level 2 of the undefeated club. We'll get into more of that as well. White Knoll up on Sumter 33-26. Sumter, I believe, has the ball late in the game. We have some late game dramatics there. Very excited to see how that one ends final. We'll get that one to you as soon as we know that score. Lexington leads North Augusta 20-13. Dreher all over Cardinal Newman 26-0. As of last reporting, Keenan up on Pendleton 8-0. That was the halftime score. They're well into the second half now. Somerville up on South Florence 22-14. Eau Claire up on Bethune-Bowman 6-0 at last reporting. That one we have not gotten an update for since that game was in the first quarter. Dillon up on Socastee 20-7. Columbia up on Pillion. The Caps lead 35-14. Rock Hill and South Point has been postponed for tomorrow at 11 a.m. due to weather. Wilson Hall beats Northside Christian. That one goes final by a score of 28-9. Northside Christian scored the first 9 of the game. Wilson Hall ends the game scoring 28 unanswered. Camden 25, Lugoff Elgin 13, Gaffney 19, JL Mann 10, and a top 10 matchup in 5A. So Gaffney up 19-10 as of last reporting. Boiling Springs up on Malden 28-6. Wilson 18, Gilbert 14. Gilbert trying to avoid going 0-2 to start the season. Final score, Ben Lippen 20, Trinity Collegiate nothing. Oceanside Collegiate, kind of like Gilbert, trying to avoid an 0-2 start. They're down to Calvary Day as of last reporting, 15-13. Newberry all over Mid-Carolina, 26-0. Richard Wynn gets the win. They were the first team to catch a W tonight. They beat Newberry Academy by a score of 46-6. Lower Richland up on Spring Valley, 35-7. As of last reporting, Blythewood up on Midland Valley, 20-7. Haven't gotten a result for that one in a long time. Another final for tonight, Atlantic Collegiate, the Armada, as it is presented to me right now. One of the cooler nicknames in South Carolina high school football. They take care of the Flashes of Johnsonville, 7-6. Whitmire beats Spartanburg Christian. That one's gone final, 30-21. Crescent in the fourth quarter leads Palmetto 21-18. Mercifully, Grayson and Dorman has gone final. Grayson out of Loganville, Georgia, shuts out the Cavaliers of Dorman by a score of 53-0. Branchville and C.A. Johnson, the last we have of that one is a tie game at 6. Same with Lee and Dillon Christian. That one's tied at 7 from last reporting. Hammond takes care of Pinewood Prep 48-14. Jefferson Davis takes care of Cathedral. Comes back against Cathedral, 28-26. Coach Webster called in earlier tonight to give that score. Great start to the season for the Raiders. Northwood leads First Baptist 33-0. Or beats First Baptist. That was final. 33-0. Baptist Hill beats Hardyville 15-0. That's a shutout. The four Fighting Rogers of Hunter, Kiner, Tyler trail Louisville 38-16. Hannah Pamplico pulls out the win 32-27 over Waccamaw. Swansea, speaking of Roger, gave us the last report. They lead Denmark Olar 28-6. They're looking to start 2-0 after an 0-10 season last year. Orangeburg Wilkinson shuts out Hemingway 56-0. Cross beats North Charleston 48-14. We got a thriller in the fourth quarter. Dixie and Fox Creek. Dixie leads by only 3, 27-24 as we're in the final frame. Marion up on Latta 8-7. Timberland leads Lake City 26-22. Hampton County shuts out Allendale Fairfax 33-0. Blackville Hilda takes care of Edisto 41-6. Fairfield Central all over Union County. That one's 52-6, a final. The Fighting Debo Samuels of Chapman up on St. Joseph's Catholic 21-13. Abbeville, a team that we hypothesized, Justin Hall, would be in the undefeated club for a hot minute. They are only leading Powdersville 26-21. That is in the fourth quarter, it appears. Keenan was up 8-0. We just got an update. Pendleton scores a touchdown. It is an 8-6 ball game well into the second half. Saluda up on Ridge Spring Minetta 42-0. 96 comes back and beats Ware Shoals 41-30. Batesburg Leesville looks like all over Wagner Sally, if this score is correct, 50-0. That would be a big win for the Panthers at Batesburg Leesville. In the All-Name Bowl, Lucy G. Beckham up on Philip Simmons 35-3. Bluffton leads Andrew Jackson 35-13. Bishop England shuts out St. John's by a whopping score of 56-0. Greenwood up on Beaufort 36-12. Gilbert, update, has taken the lead on Wilson. Again, they're trying to avoid going 0-2. They're up 21-18. Crestwood up on Richland Northeast as of last reporting, 28-22. Walhalla, final, beating Pickens 49-16. Belton Honea Path up on Greer by 30, 37-7. That's math I can do pretty easily. Landrum's beating Berea 33-6. Wren beating Easley 41-7. Liberty beating Southside 21-7. Clinton takes care of the Fighting Captain Dave Adair of Lawrence by a score of 35-8. Woodruff leads Fountain Inn 20-10. There is definitely a typo right here because this says Travelers Rest beat Emerald 131-3. I refuse to believe that. We're going to get some verification. And lastly, May River, after beating the Fighting Justin Halls of Airport last week, up in the fourth quarter against West Ashley by a score of 28-14.
There's really no need to throw that in there. You could have left that alone.
I just like to add context.
All right, fair enough. It's a context builder. Thank you for the context being added.
Builder. It's just not a fun context builder.
Eau Claire defeated Bethune tonight, 34-18. Lou Bijak on Twitter lets us know that the streak is over for the Shamrocks.
Yes.
They snapped a losing streak of 35 games
Wow.
35-game losing streak. Are you kidding me? That's insane.
What I'm talking about. I love snapping losing streaks. I love history. I love when teams that don't get to win a lot get on the board. So shout out to Eau Claire, the Fighting Jermaine O'Neills, for getting their first win in years. I love that.
Hanahan defeated Wando tonight, by the way, 20-17. According to Scott Iceberg on Twitter, that is a huge win for Hanahan. And we are going to overtime between White Knoll and Sumter. It is 33-33 going to extra period. You're getting free football, folks. Free football in week 1. Have at it.
This is our first overtime game of the year, is it? I want to say it is. I don't think we had an overtime game last week.
A stunner in Greenville. Still a whole fourth quarter to go, but stunner brewing. Riverside 28, Greenville 19.
Wow.
Mazio Bennett ain't walking through that door. He's walking through a different door tomorrow at 4:15.
That's right. We're playing the Patino game. Mazio Bennett walking through a door that will not help Greenville anymore.
North Augusta scores a touchdown. Extra point to tie it is no good. Lexington leads 20-19 with 3.5 to go in that ball game.
Wow, that one's getting juicy. Special teams, it matters. Just ask the Minnesota Golden Gophers last night how much kicking matters in a game. We'll go ahead and head to the phone lines. Looks like we have a Coach Jay on the line with us right now. Coach Jay, which game we reporting from? Good to have you on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show.
Oh, glad to report to you. I heard you just say the score. Sumter came back from 13-33 at the half to pick one off with 5 seconds left on the clock to take it in overtime.
Wow. And so an interception. So I assume the score by Sumter had to have been within the last minute of the game or so, maybe, to tie it?
Yes. They scored with 2 minutes left on the clock to tie the game up, and then they picked it off with 5 seconds left to send it in overtime.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. Coach Jay, if you can, call back whenever that game gets final. We'd love to hear a report once that one ends, because it looks like we are barreling towards a thriller. So thank you for calling.
Yes, sir. I sure will.
Absolutely. Good stuff there from Coach Jay. We'll go ahead and hit up Roger on the phone lines. Roger gave us the news of Swansea taking care of Denmark Olar. They were leading 28-6. What are the latest developments, good sir?
Yeah. Auburn Prep 32, Jefferson Davis 14 final score.
Okay, another final score. Thank you very much, Roger. Appreciate you as always. So good stuff coming from Roger and Coach Jay. But yeah, that game of the night, White Knoll Sumter. I mean, look, we were talking about how Coach Pelham's building a program over there with the Timberwolves, giving how much they lost last year from losing a heartbreaking state championship game against Dutch Fork. The defense, a lot of seniors last year, senior-laden group, and having to do a little bit of rebuilding, having to bounce back emotionally from that has got to be really tough. And Coach Pelham's been on the record with some TV stations saying that, you know, sometimes it's hard to get over. And they beat Camden on Saturday, and then they turn around and we're up 20 on Sumter. But we got to give a good shout out to the Gamecocks of Sumter to fight back down 20 and be able to score in the last minute and then make a defensive play to take this bad boy to some extra football.
And Sumter has scored. It's 40-33 after the 5-yard touchdown run from John Peoples. PAT is good. White Knoll gets their shot, but they got to score. Now here's the question, Elijah. I always feel for this. By the way, bury the lead here. Landon Sharp, 8-yard keeper. Extra point is good. 40-40, going to double.
What's better than one overtime, Justin Hall?
2 overtimes. 2
overtimes.
Now, here's the thing. High school football has it right. We're not going to that ridiculous 2-point conversion thing. But here's your question. In this second overtime, you're not at the 2-point conversion after the score yet. If you score the touchdown to tie it at 46, let's say that's the situation, do you go for 2 in the win? Or do you continue to play?
Every single time. I go for it every single time. If I'm a coach that loves my offense even a little bit, nothing as a 14 to 18-year-old would get you amped up for a coach to get you in the huddle and say, boys, we're going for the win. I trust you guys to give me those 2 yards. Give me those 2 yards, and we're leaving this stadium as winners.
Agreed. Oceanside Collegiate 16-15 final score. They win over Calvary Day. So big win for Oceanside after a tough week. And how about this one from Camp Randall? You want a little Camp Randall update?
Oh, yes. A little bit of Big Ten action. I forget Wisconsin was playing.
Wisconsin and Western Michigan are tied at 7 late in the first half.
Oh.
Big Ten going to Big Ten, my friends.
That's right. I mean, Wisconsin taking a page out of the NC State playbook. I don't know if you watched much of that game last night, and I'm a Grayson McCall lover and believer, but man, he did not look great for the first 2.5 quarters of that game against Western Carolina.
Right. No question about that. He did not. And then I was able to go back and look at some highlights. Greenwood, final score, they win over Beaufort 37-18, but obviously all eyes on this program are currently on the goings-on, he says, between White Knoll and Sumter. And we have a flea flicker touchdown pass for J.L. Mann. Gaffney still leads that one 27-20. 7:51 to go in the fourth quarter. Extra point is good after a Somerville touchdown. Somerville leads South Florence 45-20.
Wow. That's a statement win. I know it's a 4A, 5A game, but South Florence doesn't play like just a 4A team. They punch above their weight class routinely, and they have the best player in the state, according to a lot of recruiting websites on that team, and Amari Adams, Clemson recruit. And man, I am very surprised to see that Somerville is laying the lumber quite like that. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back with more scores and hopefully some more updates from a thrilling double overtime matchup between White Knoll and Sumter. More of that as the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show continues.
Get big deals for days at Target's long weekend sale. Let's go. Like 20% off denim, tees, dresses, and shoes for the family. Then round out your barbecue with Doritos and Ruffles party-sized chips. They're on sale 2 for $7. Or get 30% off 12 packs of soda when you buy 3 with Target Circle. And save even more. Find new lower prices on many grocery and household items you love today and every day. Target's long weekend sale ends Monday. Restrictions apply.
I love it. Getting behind the wheel after drinking could change your world. Bobby here had a great time at the party and thought he was good to drive home. Now, Bobby's facing jail time, an upset wife, disappointed parents, and up to a $10,000 fine. It only takes one bad decision to change your world forever. Getting behind the wheel after you've been drinking is one of them. Drive sober or get pulled over. Learn more at NHTSA.gov. That's NHTSA.gov. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia, Highway 378 at I-20.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
More scores to get to you from around the state of South Carolina. And, of course, we are going to be keeping tabs on that electric double overtime game between White Knoll and Sumter, still knotted up at 40. But we have a lot of finals that we have discussed tonight. And joining us on the line right now is Chris Miller, who is at the Northwestern and Ridgeview game. Northwestern takes care of business 45-27. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to go ahead and ask right now, set the scene for us. This Northwestern team, in terms of making statements, erasing a 22-point deficit in a quarter last week and then taking care of business against a really solid Ridgeview squad tonight. What have you seen from this bunch so far, and what made them so successful in tonight's game?
I think you hit the term resilience. They showed it again tonight. It was a 14-13 game. I think a lot of Northwestern fans, at least in the Rock Hill area, thought this was a game they'd handle pretty easily, so the expectations were that, despite the fact that Ridgeview is a really good football team. That was something Coach Wofford tried to share, like, look, this is a good football team. Maybe they're not the level of Huff, but Ridgeview's a team that is going to be dangerous throughout this season. And Northwestern looks up, it's 14-13. Their defense is giving up long plays, but they get a field goal there to start the second half on their opening drive. Then they run a surprise onside kick. They get it. Next play, a touchdown, it's 24-13, and that seemed to be the momentum that Northwestern needed. They went on to outscore Ridgeview 31-14 to close the game, but it was the big play of Finley Polk. The Gardner-Webb commit had 6 touchdown passes, threw for 350, ran for 55 more, and he even returned a kick for about 14, 15 yards.
So you're talking, Chris, about a team that has a bunch of offensive output and has for several years. I mean, given they're not a Midlands team and we're located in the Midlands, but this is a statewide show, we always note, and Tommy would always do this as well, man, Northwestern puts up a lot of points. And by the end of the season, you're talking averaging 40 to 45 points a game. When you look at this team, you mentioned resilience. But you're talking about a ball club that as we get closer and closer to region play, we looked at their schedule earlier tonight. You got a gauntlet coming up of about 5 more games where you're looking at those and you're like, man, if you have these kind of performances, you're on the radar as possibly the second or third best team behind Dutch Fork right now. And again, we'll see what plays out in this year. That next stretch, though, those 5 games, you've already played Huff and Ridgeview. What's the outlook from your perspective sitting in that seat, calling these games, but then also you're hearing from the fans in the area too? What are their expectations for this year, given the stretch that's coming?
Well, I want to go back to your comment about Dutch Fork. Keep in mind, Northwestern beat Dutch Fork. They played in a jamboree, which was a game-like jamboree. Northwestern actually won 15-14 when they faced off. Again, it was a preseason game, but nonetheless, it was a 4-quarter jamboree, and Northwestern won that. So those two teams will not meet again. Dutch Fork is 5A Division I, Northwestern's 5A Division II. But you look at it right. Next week it's South Florence. The following week it's South Point. That's always a big rivalry matchup, Northwestern and South Point. Then they get into region play, and really you start looking at their region outside of Clover. I don't know if there's much of a threat, but in the playoffs, they'll have to find a way to get past Gaffney in the upper state, Irmo in the upper state. Those are both two very talented football teams, and I start looking at 5A Division I versus Division II. I think the path in the upper state is more difficult in Division II than it is Division I. But with what Northwestern offers, they have a front 4 on defense that has started since they were sophomores. They're a little bit undersized. All 4 of them, they have a nickname for them. They call them the Ninja Turtles because they can all do everything so well. Then they have this linebacker that we refer to as Splinter. He's kind of the one that runs that thing. His name's Will Massey. His father was a great linebacker for Northwestern in the mid-'90s, so it's a chip off the old block. And they're a pretty formidable front 7. Where they have struggled in their last 2 games against Huff and tonight against Ridgeview is on the back end. So that's something, if they're going to play for a state championship, they are going to have to shore that up. I don't think their struggles in the defensive backfield will hurt them against South Florence. That's a team that wants to run the football. Same with South Point. But to beat a team like Gaffney, to beat a team like Irmo, they are going to have to be able to play much better on the back end to go far in the playoffs.
There's no question about that. And what we've seen from A.J. Brand here locally, even tonight, he makes throws that make you go, oh boy. If you're a DB coach, or if you're a head coach or a defensive coordinator, whatever it is. Chris, really quick before we let you go, because I know you're on the ride back. Are you busy tomorrow around, say, like 1?
Yeah, I will be a little busy. Yeah, we'd love, of course, right here on 107.5, we'd love to have people come out and see us at Gamecock Village. Myself and Chet Tucker will be there for pregame starting at 1. Then we got a little game going over at Williams-Brice at 4:15. Todd and Tommy and Chet in the booths. We'll have a lot of fun. So, yeah, I appreciate that promo for tomorrow.
Well, I'll just put that one on a tee for you and let you knock it out. I will tell the folks as well. I will tell the folks as well that pregame starts at 1, but count back 2 hours. And the local pregame, Terry Ford and Tyler Head will have you leading into that, so you get a little local taste, and then of course an even more local taste, but on the statewide network. And then of course they're kicking that ball off at 4:15, Gamecocks and Old Dominion. Chris, we appreciate it, man. Hope to do this more throughout the year as these games wrap up each week, and hopefully we get to talk with you throughout the year, talking Northwestern Trojans and that. And let me make sure I get that right. That Ninja Turtle unit over at Northwestern.
Yeah, that's what they call the front four, the Ninja Turtles. So there you go, you got them.
That's amazing.
We don't know who's Leonardo. It's all mix and match.
That's fair. That would get too complicated. Good nicknames don't need a whole lot of complication. Just keep them simple, and it works. And those can get on T-shirts. And hey, in college, that's NIL money right there. So let that keep rolling on. But we appreciate it, Chris. Thanks so much for hopping on with us tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. See you tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, wow, good stuff. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles, the Northwestern front four.
Love it.
Better be known as the Ninja Turtles. I love a good nickname for a position group of any kind. That
the Purple People Eaters.
Like the Steel Curtain.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a sucker for all of it. That is good stuff.
Gamecock Connection will be the Fire Ant defense back in the 84 season and beyond. So Black Magic.
Good pull.
All those. Yeah, we do what we can. By the way, I got a note on Riverside here from Robbie up there at Riverside. In fact, the AD up at Riverside. It is.
I think he's got connections, yeah.
It was 35-19 in the fourth quarter, Riverside leading. I then asked, it feels like a stunner. Am I right on that? Most people picked Greenville in this ball game, but he wants to note that Michael Skinner has had a big night, 2 TD receptions for well over 100 yards on around 6 catches is where he's factoring in. So 6 catches, maybe 5, 2 touchdowns, and 100 for Michael Skinner, who is a commitment to Cincinnati. So a future Bearcat there playing for Riverside. So again, a Riverside team that's going to move to 2-0. Be careful, that upstate region.
Don't play with them.
Chapin leads 49-21 late in the third over Flora. Flora's having a difficult time moving the football here. In the second half, and it is still 27-27 Hartsville and Carolina Forest. That game is being called due to lightning. And how about this? I'm looking at a clip from our buddy Thomas Grant. North Augusta was driving in, 4th and goal, 3.9 seconds left, but the Wildcats get the stop on defense.
Wow.
Coach Curtis's squad going to move to 2-0 on the year. And I know we're coming up against the final 30 minutes of the program. Hope to hear from Coach Curtis if we're able to. Dutch Fork is up 24-7 in the fourth quarter over Spartanburg.
24-7, Dutch Fork. Okay, we have not gotten a ton of steady flow of information on that game, but 24-7, Dutch Fork, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, if you wanted to get Dutch Fork, if you wanted to slay that dragon between the month of August and early October last year was the time to do it. And I'm afraid, Justin Hall, that ship has sailed for a lot of schools in South Carolina.
Northwestern. Chris will let you know that Northwestern, it wasn't a regular season game, but Northwestern got them. So
that's
again,
true. That's a testament how good that Northwestern team is, man.
It
Those
really
Ninja
is.
Turtles are nothing to play with.
I'm telling you, the BHP, Belton Honeypath, wins 37-7 tonight in their ball game. So the BHP continues just a solid start of the season for BHP. Can't say enough about what they're doing. And we have a final from White Knoll.
Oh, what do we got?
I'm gonna attempt the kicker's name here, Alex Krivechko. puts it through the uprights, and Sumter rallies from 33-13 down to win in double OT 43-40 over the Timberwolves.
Wow. So a double OT thriller in White Knoll. Oh, that's a gut-wrenching loss for Coach Pelham and that group right there. Being up 20. But then shout out to Sumter, man, to erase that deficit and to be able to take care of business like that in double overtime.
If possible, and we didn't set this up, but Ed Bird, can you hit me with that Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
The Drive of the Week, sponsored by Honda of Columbia.
You know, it's not the best radio, but we do what we can because that game just ended, and we're going to give our Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week to the Sumter Gamecocks, coming down from 33-13, winning in double overtime on a field goal in high school. Not easy to do. The Sumter Gamecocks win 43-40, and they're our Week 1 winners of the Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week.
I love that. That's great. The Fighting Jordan Montgomerys, if you will, getting
well done.
Well done. You like that pull right there? You like that one? He's learning. He's learning. He's lived in the state almost 2 years now. He is learning. Speaking of learning, you're going to learn a lot more of the other scores from around the state with the help of myself and Justin Hall and a couple of you that have lined up on the phone lines. We will get to both of you, so hang tight, Thomas and Roger. We'll get to you on the other side. You are listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on The Game.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Thank you to everybody that's on the line that has been calling in 803-404-6100 to get in on the phone lines. You're listening to the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Justin Hall. That is the man Ed Bird behind the glass that you talk to whenever you call in, and he's pressing buttons on the soundboard. He's keeping me in check and making sure I know what time it is and I don't butcher this clock, and that is easier said than done. We are going to go ahead and start. I'll start off with Roger. Roger's been on the line for a while now. Roger, what is the latest, my man?
Yeah, the final score you've been looking for, Swansea 35, Denmark over 6. Another score, my alumni, Hancock Tyler lost to Louisville 44-16.
Good stuff. Roger giving me the score that I have been craving for, that I have been pleading for all night. Swansea, Denmark Olar. It is official. The Tigers, after an 0-10 season in 2023, start off 2024 with 2 wins, beating Mid-Carolina in Week 0 in a 35-6 final against Denmark Olar tonight. And unfortunately for Roger, his alma mater, Hunter Kynard Tyler, falls to Louisville. Got another call here. We got Bill on the line with us. Bill, thank you for calling into the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. What you got for us?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? I'm in my car driving back to Greenwood, so I just left Buford High. Yeah,
good luck on that drive.
Tonight. Yeah. I got 37-18 over Buford. I don't have no stats because of computer glitch, of course. You know, it's always the first game. You have some kind of glitch pickup. Yeah. But the first half, it was halftime was 7-6. The first half was real slow. It really didn't get really started to get exciting until that third quarter when Greenwood drove their possession down and scored. Tristan Lewis had a phenomenal night tonight, the quarterback for Greenwood. Also, I'm trying to think what it was. I can't remember now because Greenwood's got so many running backs right now. The one that transferred from West Side to Greenwood, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Because I'm driving, so I don't have papers all in front of me.
Hey, Bill, that's a good problem to have when the running back room is that crowded that you can mix them up. That's called good balance, sir.
Yes. Defense, outstanding. For some reason, Buford's punt returner there in the fourth quarter caught the punt on the 5 on his own 5-yard line and ran backwards into the end zone trying to run away from the defenders. And I don't know, about 7 or 8 of them tackled him and he fumbled it in the end zone.
Ooh.
And Greenwood recovered it. So I don't know why he did that. Even the guys from Buford was like trying to make something happen is what he was trying to do.
Yeah, might have been that kind of night for Buford, I'm afraid. Appreciate you calling in, Bill. Yeah, thank you for the updates, good sir. Good stuff. Look forward to hearing from you next week. And hopefully that computer, the technology starts to agree with you a little bit.
Right. Next week, I won't be able to call in because I'll be in San Antonio, Texas, for my son's graduation from Navy Corpsman School.
Well, congratulations to your son. That's fantastic. That is a good reason to not be in action next Friday night. So congratulations to your son and your family.
I'll talk to you in 2 weeks when we're at Lexington. We play at Lexington in 2 weeks.
Ooh, that's a test and a half. Thank you for calling in, good sir. Good stuff there from Bill. Absolutely. Good stuff there from Bill. As always.
Always good stuff from Bill. Bill in Greenwood. So here's the situation. Terry Ford making me laugh. Blythewood.
I saw that text too. Yes.
Yeah, Blythewood wins 34-7. They're moving to 2-0 after a win over Midland Valley. Midland Valley, after going undefeated in the regular season last year, are winless right now in the regular season. We got a final from Irmo and Burns. That game got tight. Irmo wins 35-27.
Ooh. Yeah.
2-0. They go to Butler in Matthews, North Carolina next week. If you can point to Matthews, North Carolina on a map, Mr. Campbell, I will doff my cap to you, sir.
Ooh, you'll be doffing nothing because I cannot point that out on a map. By no means necessary.
Looking at a few more scores here, if I can find them. Yeah, Irmo won it on a QB kneel. They need down to end the game, so that's easy enough. Oklahoma gets the win tonight, by the way, 51-3. They hung half a hundo on Temple.
Poor Temple.
Yeah, and they had 34 points at the half, so they kind of took that foot off the gas there. Looking at a game between J.L. Mann and Gaffney here that is tightening up. I'm trying to make sure I get... Patriots are down 7. They have 4th and goal coming from the 2. With a minute and a half to go in the fourth quarter. Again, we're doing high school sports. You're having to piece together some different info from different sources. So that's what we've got. Big opportunity for J.L. Mann. Huey with a 21-yard touchdown pass from Will Wilson. R&E hanging in there. A minute 43 to go. It's 32-28. They trail Crestwood. But an opportunity, maybe an onside kick, get the ball back. And in high school, you don't have to let the other team know you're doing it. So it could be a good opportunity for R&E to spring a little surprise, even though everyone knows it's coming at this point in the night. You can't make this up, according to Scott on Sports Writer up in the upstate. And J.L. Mann gets 1st and goal at the 1 again. First play, sack for an 8-yard loss. Next play, J.L. Mann receiver hangs on after getting helicoptered at the 1. On 3rd down, it was a 1-yard loss. That is what has set up the 4th down and goal from the 2. So they had 1st and goal at the 1, 8-yard loss, helicoptered player at the 1. 3rd down was a 1-yard loss, and now they're 4th and goal from the 2.
High drama between the double overtime between White Knoll and Sumter and J.L. Mann and Gaffney. A game, mind you, 2 top 10 teams in 5A, with Gaffney being number 2 in the state. Tonight has been the gift that keeps on giving. Before we get to any more, we mentioned that Irmo and Burns score, how that one got really tight late. Our man Cale Wilson's calling in for a final report on that one. Cale, thanks for joining us, my man. How in the world did this one go from 35-13 with Irmo seemingly in cruise control to Burns making them have to sweat it out towards the end?
Hey, guys. Yeah, calling from W.C. Hawkins Stadium as the game just went final. It's really interesting because Irmo jumped out to a 35-13 lead, and it seemed like it was all but over at that point. But Irmo did come up with a drive to score that next play. They went for two. They didn't get it, so it was 35-19. And their defense surprisingly did something they hadn't done all night, and they forced a punt. Now, they were making Irmo go on long, methodical drives, and they were making them get short gains, but they never forced a punt. So Irmo had punted for the first time, and then when they tried to punt, the snap was botched. And A.J. Brand struggled to pick it up. When he finally picked it up, he got swarmed by Rebels, and he got tackled, and the next thing you know, the Rebels have the ball at the Irmo 26-yard line. And there was about 4 or 5 minutes to go at that point. Irmo scored, and that was a touchdown pass to Jackson Buckley, number 18, the wide receiver. And then they gave it to Dawkins, number 6, the running back, the shifty running back. My goodness, he played his butt off tonight. I know Burns didn't come away with the victory, but Dawkins was one of the best players on that field tonight. I just want to give my hats off to him. There was a screen pass from their own 6-yard line on Burns' first drive where they scored on their first drive, and it seemed like he was about to be tackled in the backfield. He juked, made an Irmo man fall. He made another Irmo man fall. Still ran down the field, got to the 40, was being dragged down by an Irmo defender. Still wouldn't go down, still kept running, and he was finally brought down around the Irmo 45. And then finally, he was brought down. But so Burns was able to score, and Dawkins was able to convert on that 2-point conversion to make it 35-27. And it was fourth down and 2. It was 4th down and 2. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second if you don't mind. The Irmo coach is trying to get my attention.
Oh, no, go talk to Coach Brand. Yeah, we'll catch you later.
No, it's the Irmo coach. You were just asking if I needed to interview him. I'll interview him after I get off the phone.
Here, we'll go ahead and let you off right now. You go ahead and take care of business. Cale Wilson, about to go get an exclusive with Coach Brand, who's one of the best interviews in the business. Cale, appreciate you calling in, brother, and enjoy the convo with Coach Brand, because I'm sure he has some thoughts on how that game ended.
He will.
Yes, and we'll talk to you next week, sir.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great night.
Good stuff. Yeah,
thanks, Cale. We're not going to listen.
No.
Listen, there's a hierarchy on this, and I will never take precedence over Coach Brand ever when it comes to this stuff. So don't do that. By the way, Chapin has hung half 100 on AC Flora through 3 quarters. It's 55-21. That was a 28-21 ball game late in the first half. Very impressive performance from Chapin thus far. Riverside is putting it on Greenville. Let me go back and find this score here, because my scoreboard refreshes quite frequently. But this is a game that no one was expecting. By the way, JL Mann did cash in and score. Extra point is good. Gaffney and Mann tied at 34. With 1:23 to go in that ball game.
Ooh, have another overtime game.
Mm-hmm. In the flow of information, West Florence beat Myrtle Beach 33-22. I don't believe we reported on that game much. Riverside is up 42-19 with 3 minutes to go in the ball game.
Woo!
Again, this is one of those weeks where we thought, not a big night across the board. And then the games happen, and you go, oh, wow, okay, no, these are all actually really, really good ball games, and they're playing out as such. Brady Albro's night is done, by the way. Brock Smith now in at quarterback for Chapin.
Wow. Brady Albro, have a night, sir. And being able to toss touchdowns all over the yard, break a school record for career touchdown passes.
Exactly.
And lead your team to another win. They scored 47 at Catawba Ridge last week. They've already got half 100 on AC Flora right now. And for a team that, has to play in just a total gauntlet of a region, Chapin's proving very early on some major proof of concept here that they can score with anybody. This is a really impressive start for Chapin these first 2 games.
It really is. And again, you're trying to build something here if you're Chapin, because you got a tough region. But if you can start gaining some momentum and have a good quarterback play with Brady Albro and your team stays healthy, you got a shot. You might not win that region, but you'll certainly get yourself in the playoffs. No question about that at all. By the way, 2 big-time sports notes. Clayton Kershaw left the game tonight in the second inning for the Dodgers.
Uh-oh.
Let me read this from the team. Clayton Kershaw left the game with left big toe pain.
I'm thinking, I've got like this hypothesis in my head when you start off this sentence or the official team statement that like sore shoulder, sore elbow, arm tightness. But no, you could have given me 30 guesses, and that would not have been of the 30.
Sure.
At all.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Also, this is actually a serious one. Not that one isn't. But G.G. Jackson, it was announced today, just maybe an hour ago, that he broke his foot.
Ugh, yeah.
So he's going to undergo surgery. Again, local connection, Gamecock. Worth a note there for us.
Had an awesome rookie
program.
Season. Yeah.
He did. By the way, this Abbeville game is turning into something. Abbeville leads 53-43 with 1:26 to play.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one seemed like Abbeville was going to run away with it in the early onset of it.
Right. Exactly. Newberry wins 43-0 over Midland Valley. It's Newberry's first 2-0 start since 2017.
Wow.
Newberry, first 2-0 since 2017. That's a good program, too. Fallen on some hard times lately. But 2017 is the last time they started 2-0. They're 2-0 in 2024.
Wow. That's good stuff right there, 2-0. That's the Newberry and Swansea, 2 teams that are going to be elevated to the second floor of the 107.5 The Game undefeated club. I'm looking at Ed Bird right now. He doesn't even see any ID. He's going to let them walk right on in. Let them walk right on in. No questions asked. If you know, you know, baby. If you know, you know. And you're going to know all the scores from around the state as we conclude tonight's Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show. One last round of scores, plenty of finals, and, of course, some drama that is going on late into the night. We'll have that more for you as we round out week number 1, even though it's the second week of the season, here on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show, right here on The Game.
Deep in the heart of racing country lies a track too tough to tame. The perfect setting for the late season drama of the Southern 500.
Outside lane gets the launch.
One last chance to make a playoff push. One last chance to catch regular season racing.
All clear, all clear.
One last chance to plan a Labor Day weekend worth bragging about.
Southern 500, baby.
NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, August 31st and September 1st. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
Kickoff is tomorrow.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of a $1,000 low price guarantee. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Calling all business owners and property managers. Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved? Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it. If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair, Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt and improve your curb appeal. Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. Madison Gant just walked in. How you doing?
Doing great, Woody. How are you?
Good. Madison, I see your trucks everywhere for Pioneer Tree Service. Tell us some of the people you work with.
Well, we've been very busy with residential and commercial customers.
So, Madison, you're doing the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, University of South Carolina. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust. And that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service. And now there's a new little Gant girl, Dawson. We got all the Gant girls in the room.
We do tree removal, stump removal, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree thinning, tree cabling, and we will raise your tree canopy.
And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. So, hey, Gantt girls, how do they get in touch with you?
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253. Or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast. You're also saying the record's going to go down.
I'm saying the record's going down anyway. The guy.
I don't think you're off on this at all. Like, you're spot on here. I don't think this is an overreaction because we have no idea what we're reacting to. Come react or overreact with us. How would you say that? An overreaction, sir. Overreaction Monday. Wherever you listen, it's game over. Over, man.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
All right, real quick before we get to the phone lines, 803-404-6100. We'll get two quick updates on the nail biters here. I just saw your text, Justin.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and get that real quick, and then we'll hop right into the phones because time keeps on slipping into the future.
Excellent. Well done. JL Mann and Gaffney are going to overtime, and R&E has stormed back. The Knights of Crestwood lead 32-28, but R&E recovered their onside kick. They have the ball at the 9-yard line of Crestwood with 33 seconds left. Field goal does them nothing. They need 6. They need to hit pay dirt here. 33 seconds left. We'll see if they do it. This game will wrap before we're done.
Oh, fantastic. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Hopefully we can get some resolutions to that game before we go off the air here. We'll go ahead and go to Coach Harden right now as well. Coach Harden, appreciate you joining us. And go ahead and give us a quick rundown of what went down tonight. Been keeping close tabs on all the games all night long, and excited to hear your report for the win tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, appreciate you guys having me. Sorry, my voice is a little parched, but
it's the sound of victory.
It was. I tell you, it was. I mean, we faced a hard-nosed Bearcat team in BC, and we got up by a few scores, and then defensively we just got some big plays, and they kept BC, credit to them. They just kept fighting back, and it got close a few times, and we were able to kind of put it away a little bit later in the game. And I told our guys at the end of the game, I said, you know, our conference is like the SEC, and I said just how we didn't execute and the energy that we didn't have at times it's not going to cut it in our region, and we just got to get better.
Well, Coach, interestingly enough, we chatted before the year started, and a couple weeks ago, in fact, and you know you're returning a lot of production for this ball club. And you're facing a hard-nosed team that's playing up a classification. But I don't know where you stand on this. Tommy and I used to talk about this, and we've talked, Elijah and I have, briefly about this. I feel like most of the time in South Carolina, you really can throw the classifications out the window. I mean, you got two really good ball clubs, River Bluff and BC. No one on that field tonight, I don't think anybody on your staff or your roster looked across the field and went, oh, well, they're 4A. So it's fine. I mean, teams just seem to really match up well, and it's a good test for you guys against a hard-nosed team like BC, considering what you're going to have down the stretch once you get into region play, even though that's a long way off for you.
That's right, and that's right. So it was good to see, you know, a tough team like BC that has they're well coached and they've got some good players, because we're going to see that at the end of September, week in and week out, and like you said, I mean, everybody's, you know, 4A, 5A, they can all play together. I mean, they all can, and there's a lot of good football in this state for sure.
There really is, Coach. And one last thing for you. As you look ahead, you're playing the last weekend of August. It's still hot. You know, it's still sticky. Probably will be that way for a couple more weeks in South Carolina, if we're honest. What do you have to do over these next few weeks, not only to win ball games, but to keep your team healthy? Obviously, cramping is going to be an issue for a couple more weeks, but how do you keep them healthy as we move into the month of September before we hit region play?
I think two things. One, you got to stay in the weight room. You have to stay in the weight room to try to keep your kids healthy. And then two, you've got to practice smart. We don't practice over 2 hours ever, and so we try to go fast and be physical with a quick whistle, and try to keep people off the ground and just practice fast but smart. And you got to, you know, one thing, if it's hot, we're going to take a 5-minute break and take pads off and because when we do our team sessions, I want them to be energetic and ready to roll. So we do take some breaks and shut it down so they can just re-energize and be ready to get better.
Coach Blair Harden from River Bluff after the big win against Brooklyn Casey tonight. Coach, thanks for joining us for the first time this year. We're very much so looking forward to covering your team the rest of the season. Best of luck the rest of the way, and hope to hear from you soon.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Good stuff. Coach Blair Harden from River Bluff. They got a massive win. They are 2-0. They will be elevated to the second floor of the undefeated club.
Elijah, I got 2 notes for you, and it's worth noting. According to Lou Bejak, the Columbia Capitals are 2-0 for the first time since 2007, he believes.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing.
And Will Wilson with a 9-yard touchdown pass, 20 seconds left. RNE 34-32 lead with the extra point pending.
Don't count out Will Wilson and RNE, baby. Will Wilson, NC State commit, will not let his team lose. Remarkable stuff going on from someone who is really proving their chops as a quarterback here in South Carolina. We'll go ahead and get two quick calls really quick. Nathan, on to you first. 15 seconds, good sir. What do you got for us?
Camden gets a 31-13 win over Lugoff Elgin in a bizarre game where they turned the ball over 6 times.
Oh, God.
So they get the win over a rival, and next week we get another rival, 95th meeting between Camden and Hartsville next Friday night. So we're going to enjoy this one, but we got a tough physical matchup coming up next week at home against the Hartsville Red Foxes. But Camden gets a win tonight behind Wyatt Thompson, quarterback, 100 yards rushing, 76 yards through the air, and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
Wow.
Good work, Nathan.
Good stuff,
Good
Nathan.
work.
Thanks for calling in, my man. Big win for Camden, bouncing back after that opening loss to White Knoll. And lastly, Willie, about 15 seconds, good sir. What you got for us?
How you doing? Glad to be back on the greatest sports talk station of all time, 107.5 The Game.
Yes, sir.
Home of the national championship Lady Gamecocks, with a couple of scores from the big old Orangeburg, South Carolina. First of all, in Skeezer League action, Wilson Hall Award was Prep 2017, but good news from Bruin Country, Orangeburg Wilkinson, just like the Columbia Capitals, are now 2-0. They hammer the likes of the Hemingway Tigers by the score of 56-0 in a game that was cut in half in both quarters, but the Bruins come out a win 2-0. Our next game against those Dallas Cowboy wannabes, better known as the Airport Eagles. Watch out, Airport. We're coming for you.
Oh, that's a shot at Justin. Yeah, thank you so much.
That's unnecessary, Willie. Thank you.
Oh, he knows his audience, though. He knows his audience, and for the last time tonight.
Sir.
Oh, poor Justin. Poor Airport. They'll be back. They'll be back.
They'll be fine.
They'll be back. We'll run through some quick scores here as fast as we can because time is at the essence. Irmo beats Burns 35-27. Chapin beats up on AC Flora 55-21. River Bluff beats Brooklyn Casey. What was that score again, Justin?
Oh, 27-something. Keep rolling.
And, yeah, Northwestern beats Ridgeview 45-27. Sumter beats White Knoll in double overtime 43-40. Dreer beats Cardinal Newman 26-0. And that is all we have for you. Week 1 is in the books. We will talk to you same time next week here on the Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show right here on the game.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help